here. Church leaders,
Okay, nabadosi phambili besondo abakhona lapha,
traditional healers if bakhona,
abadosi phambili bendabuko nabo nangabe bakhona,
colleagues from parliament,
abasebenzisani esivela nabo eParliament,
MEC who's amongst us,
uMEC esinaye lapha,
councillors from different municipalities who are also here,
abosomkhandlu abavela komasipala abahlukahlukeneko esinabo lapha,
officials from parliament,
abasebenzi beParliament,
and the community of Steve Chwete local municipality.
nomphakathi ke wakamasipala we-Steve Tshwete.
My name is Ngabisa Ganjo. I am the acting chairperson.
Igama lami nginqabisa Ganjo, ngingunjaphethe ke wakasihlalo.
We are going to start with our program.
Sizokthoma njenganje ngomsebenzi wethu.
Before we do that, I would request that we all stand up and abotata bakhulule iminqwazi sizokwenza meditation.
Ngaphambi kokuba sithome ngizokubawa abobaba bathule ingwani bese sithandaza sidu.
Thank you.
Siyathokoza.
There's one small request from the technical team that is busy with the live streaming of this gathering. They are requesting that we put our phones on flight mode, or if it does not have it, you must switch it off. There is an interruption with their live streaming, so the network is very poor. As we all know that this is live streamed on all Parliament social media platforms and also on 402. So there's a bit of interruption with their network. We are requesting that all of us, we put our cell phones on flight mode or switch them off.
Kulesibawo ke kulaba abasebenza ngemchini ukuthi sizame ngamandla wonke ukuthi siqime in-cellphone zethu nofana sizibeke lapho zakuhleba khona ngombanyana ziba nemraro khulukhulu ke ngoba lento esiyenza lapha le ikhona enkundleni zokuthindana ngaleyo ndlela ke uma zivuliwe zizokwenza ukuthi kube khona umthindela omumbi kuleyo ndawana. Siyathokoza.
I am going to out. I'm not sure guys Sandla noba si call I order on me or what is the problem. Ndicela umnike mic ndizomvuthini.
He's asking a question.
Can you give him a mic so that you can hear what he's saying?
Sanibona ninjani mama. Igama ukhuluma ko Emmanuel Amarutle uze nemsecho. Ngine question mama since uthi streame ama phone noma siwafaka ku flight mode since we Saturday namhlanje siya abantwana ezindlini makuyoba nama emergency bazosithola kanjani ngiyabonga.
That was
Yeah.
the request from the team. If you feel that you do not want to switch it off, but I thought that it will be fair for us to allow this process to just run smooth. However, I am unable to respond to you because all of us, we have responsibility, we have kids, with that we note.
Mhlobo wami, ngendlela le-
Okay. They are saying you can just switch off your data.
Oh, okay, but
Yes, yeah.
siyacima ama-data ke.
Yes, switch off your data so that it does not run. I think you are pendulekile Puti. Okay, thank you. I am just going to outline our program. We do not have a long program. We understand that it is Saturday. People left their commitments to come and to this meeting, and we appreciate that. We are going to have an MMC, Councillor Marume, who is sent, who's going to represent the mayor. He is going to do the welcoming. After that, we will have apologies, introduction of members and parliamentary staff. We will have an overview from the Chief Director on climate change. After, we will have the purpose of the meeting by Honorable Mchunu. The procedure to be followed, it is going to be done by Honorable Weber. After that, there will be oral submissions from the community. We will also have MEC Shiba to respond on some of the things that will be raised here. After, we will have our closing remarks and way forward from Honorable Dlamini.
Yeah, ihlale lothu ke alizuba lide kangako ngendlela alibala ngakhona lapha. Kuzaba khona ke isethulo ngalo othunywe ukuzokujamela ukhansela, and then kube nangendlela azibeke ngakhona ukwethulwa kwamalunga njalo njalo ngendlela azibeke ngakhona lapha.
Over to you, Councillor Morumo.
Now ungakhuluma as Msomkhandlu.
Thank you so much program director.
Ngiyathokoza mphathi wehlelo.
A very warm morning kibo bonke abalana ngicale ngo MEC.
Yes, I want just to welcome everybody with warm hands, starting with MEC.
Yes, owami umbereko ulula njengoba ngizomukela naba abanginikeze ipheshana phambi kwami.
My job is very easy, it's very simple, it's just to welcome those people as I'm having just a piece of paper in front of me here.
Akithome ka khoshi iphechane.
I'll start with the Khoshi King Ichane.
The member of Mpumalanga House of Traditional Leaders and Khoisan Leaders.
Ulilunga ke lendlu esibetha sithetho indlu yobukhosi, traditional leaders.
Na kwaba khatla baseabi Traditional Council.
Yena is from the Bakhatla Basiali Traditional Council.
Wabubeji inkosi uSS Mahlangu.
Wesibili uyinkosi uSS Mahlangu.
Of Nzunza Traditional Council.
Yena ke uvela kwaNzunza.
Chairperson of Nkangala Local House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders.
Naye ke ungusihlalo ke wendlu yamakhosi ekanye namakhoisan.
Wesithathu ubaba Mike Bengu.
Wesithathu ke izoba nguMike Bengu.
The coordinator of Nkangala Local House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders.
Yena ke umthintanisi ke wayo indlu le yobukhosi namakhoisan.
Angibe mfishane kanjalo bese ngehle.
I just want to summarize it in that way.
Uthi ngibamukele bonke MEC njengoba sengishizo Ngicale ngawe ukuthi nimukelekile nonke MEC Shiba.
Yes, he says, must just welcome everybody. MEC Shiva, I just want you to know that you are all welcomed.
Amalunga wonke wesibethamthetho saseMpumalanga
All the executive of the Mpumalanga
abakhona nathi la eBanquet Hall,
who are with us in this hall,
the supporting staff from your own portfolio, of course.
and all the supporting staff from your portfolio.
Angithi kibo bonke engingakababizanga
I must say to all those who I didn't mention their names,
all protocol observed.
ihlalo ngokuhlukana kwazo.
Izinja ziboshiwe khululekani umcimbi ucubeke ngokuthula.
Don't worry, dogs are fastened and there will be no problem at all.
Ngiyathokoza.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. MEC is just whispering, she wants to say something.
No, ngiyabonga kakhulu chairperson, ngicabanga ukuthi mhlawumbe MMC ngoba vele ngathi simthathele phezulu ubengakabi ukuthola kahle ukuthi ama members we parliament I portfolio committee ngibo aba leader lo mhlangano namuhla ngibo bokuqala okufuneka sibamukele.
Okay. It's just an apology because maybe we did not explain clearly to MMC because these committee from Parliament are the one who are responsible for this, the people whom we must welcome.
Mina sengizasho nje ukuthi acting chairperson honorable Ganjo nama honorable members from parliament bamukelekile ku-eda kuloku okushiwo ngu-MMC. Ngiyabonga.
To add to what has MMC has said, I just want to say all the committee, members of the committee from Parliament, you are all welcomed.
Siyabulela kakhulu MMC and also MEC. Noko siziva samkelekile singazikhulula ibhatyi. Honorable Dave, you can take off your jacket and relax. We are welcomed. Let me introduce the delegation from Parliament. I'm going to start with Honorable Weber.
Angethula malunga weParliament ngizokuthoma ngomhlonisha uWeber.
She is the member of this portfolio committee, Forestry, Fisheries and Environment. She is representing Democratic Alliance.
Ulilunga lekomiti le ukuthiya ezokuthiya namahlathi ujamele ke EDA, Democratic Alliance.
Next to her, it is Honorable Paulson. He's also the member of this portfolio committee representing EFF.
Eduze naye lilunga lekomiti le umhlonishwa uPaulsen ojamele ilunga le EFF.
Next to him, we have Honorable Mkunu. She's also the member of this portfolio committee. She's representing ANC.
Eduze naye lilunga lungu leParliament umchunu naye olilunga lekomiti lo ojamele EANC.
Next to the MEC, we have Honorable Mbata, also a member of this portfolio committee representing African National Congress.
Eduze no MEC ke sine lunga lekomiti lapha umhlonishwa umbatha olilunga leANC.
Next to Honorable Mbata, we have Honorable Dlamini, also a member of this committee representing African National Congress.
Eduze ke nomhlonishwa umbatha sinomhlonishwa
Dlamini.
uDlamini olilunga le-African National Congress.
We have Honorable Dave Bryant, also a member of this portfolio committee representing DA.
Bese ke siba nomhlonishwa uDave olilunga lekomiti le ojamele EDA, Democratic Alliance.
We have these few apologies from other members. We have an apology from Honorable Singh from IFP. he has work commitment.
Kunamanye ke amalunga angakhona ukuzala athe chebe njenge lunga le committee umhlonishwa using olilunga le IFP naye ungwe committee le.
Honorable Modise, representing the African National Congress, he is bereaved, he is laying his mother today to rest.
Umhlonishwa umdise olunga le committee le osemahlungwini wokufihla umama wakhe esikhuluma namhlanje si.
Honorable Olomisa, representing the UDM, he also have other commitments.
Umhlonishwa uholomisa naye olungu le committee le naye ke ubambeke ndawana.
Lastly, we have Honorable Winkler from the DA. She also have other commitments.
Sigcine ke ngomhlonishwa oWinkler naye olungu le committee le ojamela I Democratic Alliance.
Thank you. I am now going to hand over to the Chief Director on Climate Change. He is going to give us an overview and take us through on what is also expected from this meeting. Thank you.
Sithokoze kwamambala ke sengizokuthatha leli thuba ngelinikele umnqophisi Mazombe ozosithatha ke asise phambili ke ngomnyanya
His
wanamhlanje.
name is Choma Ramoro.
Igama lakhe nguTlo Ramoro.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and good morning, Honorable Chair, honorable members, MEC. I'll just say all protocol observed.
Ngithokoza sihlalo ngilochisa wonke amalunga ahloniphekileko inhlalo ngokuhlukana kwazo lochana.
I'm going to go through briefly the overview of the climate change bill.
Kafuthazana ngizokwenza nje ihlathululo ngalomthethomlingwa ophathelene nokuchukuluka kwemjabo bezulu.
This bill has gone through a round of consultation since 2018.
Kube nemizombe yemikhulumiswano kusukela ngomnyaka ka-2018 mayelana nomthethomlingwa lo.
And now it's of course before the portfolio committee, hence the public hearing.
Njenganje sewusezithebeni zekomiti le yomnyango yeParlamente ngalibangelo sele kunemhlangano yomphakathi ebiziweko.
The main objective of the bill is to enhance or improve coordination of responding to climate change across the spheres of society.
Umnqopho omkhulu ngomthethomlingwa lo kukwenza nokuhlanganisa indlela yokuthintanisa neyokuziphendulela komphakathi mayelana nomjamo bokuchugujuguluka kobjamo bezulu.
This will improve coordination across the spheres of government, civil society, as well as business as some of the main key stakeholders to respond to climate change.
Lokhu kuzokusiza ke emkhakheni yahlukeneko engafaka umphakathi uhulumende neminye imkhakha yokusiza mayelana nokuqalana nobjamo esikhuluma ngabobu.
The bill will also enable an effective management of the impacts of climate change across the entire society.
Umthethomlingwa lo uzokusiza godu ukuthi kutshejwe umthelela obakhona emphakathini ngobjamo bokuchuguluka ngobjamo bezulu.
The other objective for the bill is to help and coordinate the reduction of the greenhouse gas emissions.
Omunye umnqopho kusiza ukwehlisa nokuhobhisa igasi esilaphaza ibhoduluko.
One of the main chapters of the bill, which is chapter 2, look at enhancing institutional mechanism across the country.
Ingxenye eqhakatheke kakhulu esesahlukweni sesibili ngiyo echeja indlela inaga yekhethu engasebenza ngayo.
It will empower the provincial forums on climate change to coordinate responses on climate change impacts.
Izokusiza ingxema ezakhiwe emfundeni ukuthi zithindane bezihlanganise iqhinga lokuqalana nokuchugujuguluka kobjamo bezulu.
It will also empower the municipal forums on climate change to ensure that at the municipal level, there is proper coordination to respond to climate change.
Izakusiza nengiqhema ezifanako kodwana ezingeni labo masipala ukuthi nazo zibe nendlela yokuthi zisebenzisane ziqalane neselele le esiqalene nayo yobujamo bezulu obungasibuhle.
The bill also established the Presidential Climate Commission, which will enable us to provide advice to the sphere of society to respond to climate change.
Lo mthetho mlingwa ukhuthaza nokuthi kube nekomishini eklanywako ngeofisini yakamongameli ekungiyo ezokululeka mayelana nobujamo esikhuluma ngabobu.
Chapter 3 of the bill empowers the MEC at a provincial level to undertake the climate change risk and vulnerability assessments.
Isahluko sesithathu ke sona sinikela usomkhandlu esifundeni igunya lokuthi naye eze namano wokusiza nokulwisana nobujamo obujugujukulukako.
So that at the level, the risk and vulnerability assessment will enable us to understand the risk and the impacts of climate change within the provinces.
Okhunye kwenziwa ngusomkhandlu uMEC ukuthi akhona ukubona ubungozi nokungabi nobuyo kwabantu ebujameni besifunda mayelana nobujamo lobu.
It will also empower the MEC to develop strategies, plans and systems to respond to climate change.
Izokusiza usomkhandlu esifundeni ukuthi eze namaqhinga namahlelo namano wokulwisana nobujamo bokuchukuluka bobujamo bezulu.
It will further empower the mayors to undertake the risk and vulnerability assessment at a municipal level.
Zakusiza godu nabo meyara ukuthi nabo njengosomkhandlu bakhone ukuhlolisisa nokuqala ubungozi obulethwa kuchukuluka kobujamo bezulu ehlangothini labo masipala.
And empower them to also develop plans and responses to address the challenges that are specific to a local level.
Basizwe ke nabo ukuthi bakhona ukuletha ipengu yokurarulula le miraro ebujameni bukamasipala.
It will further require that at the local level and at the provincial level, there will be reporting on progress on the implementation of the strategies that responds to the challenges of climate change.
Kuqakatheke khulu ukuthi kube nendlela yokubika yokuletha ama report ukusukela kumasipala wekhaya ukufika nasezingeni lesifunda ukubika ngeragelo phambili ngamaqhinga asetshenziswako ukulwisana nobujamo lobu.
At a national level, it will empower the minister to develop a national adaptation strategy.
Ebujameni benarha yonke kuzakusiza ungqongqotshe wenarha yonke kulomnyango ukuthi naye abe negunya lokuza neqhinga elokuthi kungajanyelwana njani nobujamo bokuchuguluka kobujamo bezulu.
And the national adaptation strategy will guide all other sectors at a national level, and it will guide the provincial level of government as well as the local level to undertake the climate change response.
Leli qhinga elisebujameni benarha eliqalene nokulwisana nokuchuguluka kwezulu lizokusebenza ukusukela ebujameni benarha kufike ebujameni besifunda bekube sebujameni bukamasipala.
And it will empower the minister to also be able to receive reports across the sectors within the national government and from the provinces as well as the local government to understand how collectively as a country we are doing in responding to climate change.
Lesi senzo sizokunikela ungqongqotshe igunya lokwamukela imibiko esuka phasi kumasipala wekhaya esifundeni ukufika ebujameni benarha ukuthola nokuba nomfanekiso ukuthi ngimaphi amano enziwako wokulwisana nokuchukuchukuluka kobujamo bezulu.
On the mitigation side of things,
Ngasehlangothini lokulwisana namkha lokukhandela ukuhagala komjamo bokuchukuchukuluka kobujamo bezulu.
the bill will empower the minister to set sectoral emission targets.
Umthethomlingwa lo uzokunikela ungqongqotshe igunya lokuthi akhona ukubeka indlinganiso emikhakheni ngokuhlukana kwayo okungakafaneli yeqiwe mayelana nokusilaphazeka kwebhoduluko.
The sectoral emission target simply means that the minister will give target to the sectors and indicate that they have a responsibility to reduce the emission towards that particular target.
Ungqongqotshe uzokunikela imikhakha ehlukeneko inlinganiso ezithile ngokwemkhakha leyo ukuthi bangadluli ezingeni elithile kufanele babe ngaphasi kwendlinganiso abazabe banikelwe zona.
The bill will also empower the minister to, of course, allocate what we call the carbon budgets.
Umthethomlingwa lo uzokunikela ungqongqotshe igunya lokuthi angaklama isabelo mali esiqalene nobujamo bokusilaphazeka namkha bokuphuma kwehasi le esizokuzama ukuthi sikhandele ukuhagala kwayo ihasi le.
The carbon budget will also provide a limit, particularly for business and industries, to indicate that they can only emit the emission to a particular level.
You said the carbon.
The carbon budget,
Okay. Isabelo mali lesi sizoklanywa ngungqongqotshe esimayelana nehasi ekhutshwako sizoqindelisa khulu amabubulo siqindelise khulu amabhizinisi kubatshela ukuthi nofana ningakhupha ihasi kodwana yeniyelele ngoba ningadluli ezingeni elithile.
it means if the carbon budget is allocated to an industry or a business, therefore that business cannot emit above what has been allocated.
Ngamanye amazwi na ibubulo namkha ibhizinisi linikelwe isabelo mali sale sokulwisana nokukhutshwa kwale khasi akukafanele ibhizinisi namkha ibubulwelo lidlulele ngaphezulu kwesabelo ezabe sabelwe lona.
And finally, there will be a number of regulations that are going to be developed to ensure that we're able to implement the bill once it becomes an act.
Kuzokuba nemileyo ezoklanywa ezokwenza isiqinisekiso sokuthi yalandelwa ukufikelela lapho umthethomlingwa uphumeleliswa khona.
Chair, thank you very much. I think this is a bill that has been in the making and it will be very much important for the country to be able to respond to the impact of climate change.
Ngithokoze khulu sihlalo ngalomthethomlingwa oragako nokuklanywa ngiyathemba ukuthi inarha izakuba sebujameni bokuthi uqalane nobujamo bokuchuguluka kwezulu siyathokoza.
Siyabulela Mr. Amaro.
Thank you,
for
Mr.
this,
Maru.
Clear overview. We appreciate that.
Sithokoza khulu ngokulahlela kwakho lobodlana.
I'm going to give over to Honorable Mchunu
Nginikela
to
umhlonitshwa
the purpose
umkhulu
of this public hearing.
ukuthi asethulele ngomnqopho walomhlangano womphakathi obiziweko. Want to come?
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and greetings to the honorable members,
Ngiyathokoza sihlalo ohloniphekileko ngilotshisa namalunga ahloniphekileko
the MEC,
somkhandlu
and the MEC and the MMC.
kunye no
Present.
MMC
Amakhosi,
abondaba ezitha
Makona, and the public that is here,
nomphakathi wonke okhona lapha namhlanje.
the staff from the parliament.
Abasebenzi ababuya eParliamente.
We are here as Parliament, as the Portfolio Committee of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment,
Silapha thina siyikomiti yeparlamente eqale zamahlathi zokuthiya nezebhoduluko
to present before you as Mr. Oh, I'm sure I'm pronouncing it correct, Ramaru, has just done the overview of the bill that we are coming here to present to you.
ukuzokwenza njengalokhu unomzane uRamaru sekhe wahlathulula ukunethulela ukuthi umthethomlingwa lo umayelana nani.
As the portfolio committee, we are here to invite your inputs in the process and get your views as the people of Mpumalanga Province.
Thina njengekomiti size lapha ukunimema ukuthi sibawa amazizo wenu nilahlele nani lobodlana mayelana nomthethomlingwa lo nizizakhamuzi zeMpumalanga.
Parliament as a lawmaker is obliged to consult and seek your views.
Iparlamente ikatelelekile ngokomthetho ngoba ingiyo esibetha mthetho ukubawa amazizo wenu.
As the government of the people, by the people, for the people.
Njengehulumende owakhiwe babantu owakhethwa babantu osebenzela nabantu.
So your views are important today.
Iqakatheke khulu imibono yenu namhlanje.
The reason for public involvement in getting, as we draft the bill,
Ukuqakatheka kokuthi umphakathi ube nesandla lokho nasisaklama umthethomlingwa lo.
firstly is to ensure that human dignity, equality and advancement of human rights and freedom is achieved.
Kukuqinisekisa ngokwesithunzi nangamalungelo wobuntu ukuthi ayatshejwa ngaso sonke isikhathi begodu athuthukiswe.
And we also value non-racialism and non-sexism in your input.
Begodu kule mibono enizoyinikela si checha khulu ukuthi asiseqisa amehlo endabeni yobuhlanga nasendabeni yokubandlulula ngokobulili.
So some of the principles that involve public involvement is one of them is to promote active representative participation towards enabling all community members to meaningfully influence the decision that affect their lives.
Omunye yemithelela eqakatheke khulu kukwenza isiqinisekiso ukuthi wonke umphakathi uyazibandakanya emisebenzini efana nokuklanywa komthethomlingwa lo ukuthi wonke umuntu ajameleke ngefanelo.
Also engage community members in learning and understanding community issues and the economic, social, environmental, political, psychological and other associated causes of action.
Ukuza kwethu lapha kuyasiza nokuthi sithole amazizo womphakathi mayelana nobujamo bezomnotho, ubujamo bezehlala kuhle, ubujamo bezinto ezithinta umkhumbulo womphakathi.
It should also incorporate the diverse interests and cultures of the community in the development process.
Lokhana kwakho umthethomlingwa lo siqalelela khulu nokuthi sicheche ukungafanani ngokwamasiko nangendlela yokwenza izinto ukuze umthethomlingwa lo urage wakheke kuhle.
And also enhance the leadership capacity of community members, leaders and groups within the community.
Siqinise namandla wabaholi abakhona ngaphakathi emphakathini nenqhema eziqalelela itshisakalo yomphakathi.
Also utilize a community's diversity to deepen and share understanding and produce outcomes of long-term benefit to the whole community or the society.
Begodu nokuchecha ukungafanani kwemiphakathi mhlawumnye kungaba ngokwemikhuba namkha indlela zokwenza kodwa sidephise indlela yokuzibandakanya komphakathi ukuze lokho esizama ukukwenza kube nesiqiniseko.
So today, as Mr. Klo presented before you,
Njengalokho umnomzana okhulume ngaphambili ayewethula phakathi kwenu.
we are inviting your input
Sibawa amazizo nemibono yenu
in different sections of the bill,
ezahlukeneko zalomthethomlingwa.
and how it affects you as the community.
Nokuthi umthethomlingwa lo unithinta njani uba nemthelela enjani kini njengomphakathi.
I must indicate that there is no one who can say has not experienced climate change impacts.
Ngiyathemba ngiyaqinisa kunamuntu phakathi kwethu aphoza ukuthi zange akhe athindwe bujamo bokuchuguluka namkha ukuchuguluka kobujamo bezulu.
So your views are important,
Imbono yenu iqhakatheke khulu kwamambala.
and we believe that everybody will contribute and make a meaningful contribution and impact towards this bill, this new bill that is coming.
Sithemba ukuthi wonke umuntu uza kulahlela lobhodlana aveze imbono yakhe ngendlela ezakwakha njengalokho sebenzisana ngomthethomlingwa lo.
And the bill, it's for the first time that we are drafting a climate change bill as South African Parliament.
Kungokuthoma iParliament yeSouth Africa iklama umthethomlingwa oqalana nokuchuguluka kobujamo bezulu.
So treat yourself or believe in yourself that you are so important to participate in the process.
Ngibawa nizithembe ukuthi niqhakatheke khulu ekubeni ingcenye yalomsebenzi wokuklanywa kwalomthethomlingwa.
And you are making history today as you will be contributing, as you will be telling Parliament, different levels of government, how to draft, what is it that should be incorporated in this particular bill. Thank you.
Nenza umlandu ngokuthi nikube sethubeni lokutshela iParliamente ukuthi yini okungafakwa njengoba kwenziwa lomthethomlingwa. Siyathokoza.
Thank you, Honorable Mchunu, for giving us this purpose. I am going to hand over to you, Honorable Weber, to explain the procedure that must be followed into making these oral submissions and also written submissions. Thank you.
Sithokoze mamchunu ukusinikela umnqopho ke umhlangano lo nofana womnyanya lo sizokunikela ke umhlonishwa uWebla ukuthi azosichazela ukuthi ke ikambiso izoba bunjani na.
Sanibonani.
Good morning everybody.
Unjani?
How are you?
Ngiyaphila.
Fantastic.
We must speak today, so we want to hear you. All right, the processes that we are going to follow today is that when our chairperson is going to ask for your oral submissions, you're going to raise your hands. Then 10 of you will be elected and you will be seated in the chairs right there in the middle. So when your chance comes to speak, you will first give us your name and your surname. You will tell us from where you are coming, and you will say whether you support or not the climate change bill, and then you can give us your submission. You will have only 5 minutes for your submission. If you don't want to do oral submission, or you know that your submission will be longer than 5 minutes, we ask you on our right-hand side, there's Talika. She will give you the correct forms and you can give a written submission to her today if what you want to say is longer than 5 minutes. I thank you.
Ikambiso ke esizoyilandela namhlanje bonke laba abafuna ukukhuluma baza kuphakamisa izandla Nase lo phakamisa isandla bazokubiza uzokuhlala la. Nase uhlezi lapha ke uzoyiveza ke imizwa yakho. Ukhumbuleke umuntu uzokunikelwa imzuzu emhlanu ukwaphela. Kodwa nangenzeka ukuthi indaba yakho uyithole ukuthi iyayidlula lemzuzu emhlanu. Ungakhambi nendaba ezobuyele nazo ekhaya. Hlola indaba zakho ezophasi bese uchinga etafuleni lapha itafula ubatshele zonke lezo ezisele indaba ke ezisele ngemuva. Siyathokoza.
Thank you, Honorable Weber. I see that Ukileka is already distributing the forms for written submissions for those who might not be able to do their oral submissions.
Sekhona ke amaforomo ke asatshalaliswako kulabo ke abangeke bakwazi mhlawumbe ukukhuluma la uhlole ke bese usala phaya.
Ndizawucela ke izandla baphakamise izandla abantu mandiqale kwelicala then zawubuya ngelicala. Nanku uCouncillor ngazo ukujupaya. Oh, mandiqale ngobhuti linxibe ikepsi emhlophe. Councillor, you follow bhuti with the ikepsi emnyama. Okay, okay. Ndizanza. Huh? Bhuti. Nawe bhuti wami. Memba Banquet. Wonke umuntu uzaba nayo ichance yothetha mabahlale nje apha kwizitulo. Nasi isandla sikasisi ungasondela sisi nawe bhuti ungayohlala pha. Umuntu azi express ngelanguage a comfortable ngayo. Kwenzela uzokwazi izimvo zakho uzokuzichaza kakuhle.
Omunye nomunye umuntu akhulume ngelimi azizwa ukuthi nangikhuluma ngaleli limi ngizoyibeka indaba amizwakala.
I see bakhona nababhizi ababhalayo i-written submissions zabo.
Ngiyabona ke khona labanye abatlola phasi
Siqebile apha ngasekunene. Okay, mandize apha ekhohlo. Nangu bhuti phakamisa isandla izongena equeen. Nawe Nkosi bhuti wami ungasondela. Sizawugqibela ngabo ke ukhosi kuba asifuni kubekho umuntu othethayo emveni kwabo. Sawugqibela ngabo, even the representative from the traditional house, they will be the last one to speak because we do not want anyone to speak after them. Is that this one? Now we put you with the red t-shirt. Tata ungayo John. Singapi tulo ezishekile. Shake one. No, we will have a second round. Ninga panic. Ningabi na stress. Ziphelele? Oh, okay. Uvile ke mosiphuthi into ba uyazichaza ubungubani, which organization you are representing, if you are representing any also ungathetha ngelanguage yakho ofeel comfortable ngayo. Enkosi.
Afternoon, everyone.
Ngimlotshise nonke.
I go by the name of Sizwe Mahlangu from Hluzi Extension 1.
My name is Sizwe Mahlangu from Hluzi Extension 1.
I would like to touch some few points on the bill.
Ngifuna ke ukuthi ngikhuluma nje ngamaphuzu ambalwa ekumthetho omlingwa lo.
Starting from chapter 2 on the policy alignment and institutional arrangements.
Ngithome lapha ku chapter 2 lapha kuhlalisweni kuhleke kwemthetho omlingwa lo.
On the issue of provincial forums and municipal forums on climate change.
Endabeni ke zokulukaza zomthetho omlingwa lo khulukhulu la elokazi zomthetho omlingwa lo ukuchuguluka kobujamo bezulu.
Program director, before I proceed, I would like to ask if, is it possible for me to present my case before the interpreter interprets, because I'm losing my point of discussion as I have to stop and wait for him to interpret the information. So is it possible for me to go through all the way, and then if he captures the information well, he'll interpret after me?
If the interpreter will be able to capture everything that you'll be present, don't make your statements long, because you must also give them a chance, no? Because asifuni ba interpret into engekhoyo. That is why we have these interpreters. We must understand each and everything that we are saying. So if you can make your statements very short and give him a chance, ne? Sure.
The issue of municipal forums, in particular, as we can see right now, we have less involvement from local officials. So our officials on the municipal level do not take part in these processes, and sorry to say this, but we are the ones who are informing our councillors about such events. So I'm quite worried about the municipality handling the affairs of climate change, whereas they are not giving themselves time to inquire about climate change and follow all these consultations, because I've been attending these consultations from last year, but not even a single official from Middleburg was available in those consultations up until today. Thank you, Mr. MMC, for availing yourselves today. And then my second issue is on the sectoral emission targets. Currently, our region, Kankangala region, produces like 70% of the coal mines in our region comes from this region. And this municipality in particular has more than like 100 mines surrounding them. And our air quality management systems is not functioning. Like, we have mines which have been polluting our air, contaminating our waters for decades, and there are no regulatory bodies who are making them to account all this time. So who are going to hold them accountable right now? Who are going to regulate the emissions? And if the targets are not met, which regulatory body will make them account, if not only activists and citizens? One last, it's not last, but at least the least. It's the savings on chapter 6, general matters and transitional arrangements. This bill, it already concludes the issue of climate change, global warming in South Africa. But it has not been communicated well from a national level, provincial level, up to the local level. Like, people are not aware of climate change. They are not aware of just energy transition process. They do not know about the JP. And as we are saying, we as in Middleburg in particular, we are facing a threat of being a ghost town. If ever these processes are going to be skipped without people being informed, we are going to be left without the necessary skills to be repurposed in closed mines. For example, Komati Power Station. Komati Power Station is already commissioned, but we do not know the number of people who are being reskilled for the photovoltaic system that they are implementing there. We do not know what happened to the labor force which was at Komati Power Station. So there's a lot about these climate change things that we do not know of. And the issues of workshops, public participation, consultations, and all that. I would like, since the Department of Fisheries, Forestry is also involved in this, to create these consultations even in our local spheres, apart from parliamentary committees and all this. We also need them on our local level. Thank you.
Thank you, Putsizwe. Siyabulela kakhulu. The second speaker.
Okay. sithokoze kwamambala akhe ngihunyezeke okusanda kuchongu uMahlangu la. Ngendlela ibeke ngakhona ibeke ukuthi lento le ngokuhunyezweko uthi lento le iyenzeka kodwa ke nakwenzeka lokhu ke kufanele kube khona ukukhulula nakwenziwa kwamasipala akube khona wonke umuntu ukuthi into le ithiyenzeka kube omnye nomunye umuntu udlala indima kuyayisamarize. Uze ukhuluma ngani ke nge-emission lapha engu-70% ulila khulu ngokuthi akube khona ukulawuleka kwentweli ngoba uma ngekho ukulawuleka kuzoba nenkinga enkulu ngoba ngendlela ebeka ngakhona ukuthi uthola ukuthi kukhona imraro lapha kukhona inruthu eziphumako akukho umuntu olawulako lapho akekho umuntu oziphendulelako azi ukuthi nangenza into nje ngizokwenziwani uyalila ukuthi into leyo ayibe khona omunye nomunye umuntu uyazenzela uthi lapha ke ekugcineni uMahlangu uthi angathanda kakhulu ukuthi akube khona ukuberekisana kungabe ukuthi uthola ukuthi iparlamente ephezulu ibereka yodwa iparlamente iprovince ibereka yodwa nomasipala ubereka yedwa akuhlangane kukhulunyiswane ukuthi kwenziwe into lesikhambeni sonke singakhambi omnye achingele omnye achingele sithokoze kwamambala.
Siyabule. Councillor.
Thank you. My name is Vincent Tapedi
Igama lami nginguVincent Tapedi
Mokwala,
Mokwala.
and I stay in Siabuswa A.
Ngihlala eSiyabuswa A.
Yeah, mine is just a couple of questions.
Nginembuzo embadlwana.
Firstly, why are penalties not clearly defined in the bill?
Kungani ihlawulo ingakahlathululwa kuhle namkha ifine.
I therefore don't think the bill can ensure that offenders for non-compliance are taken to task.
Ngicabanga ukuthi angeke kwenzeke ukuthi laba baphula umthetho ngomthetho mlingwa lo bazakuthathelwa amagadango abonakalako.
So what are you going to do to make sure offenders are taken to task?
Yini enizoyenza ibe siqinisekisa ukuthi izaphula umthetho zithathelwa amagadango.
I also propose that penalties for non-compliance be set out properly and clearly in the bill.
Ngiyachukumisa ukuthi ihlawulo yalaba abaphula umthetho kufanele icaciswe kuhle.
And how will the bill ensure that enforcement take place?
Umthetho mlingwa lo uzoqinisekisa bunjani ukuthi ukusetshenziswa kwawo kuyalandelwa begodu kuyenziwa.
Who will ensure that the goals are transparent and achieved by the commission?
Ngubani ozoqinisekisa qalelele ukuthi iminqopho ichachalazi begodu ifinyelelwa ikomishini?
Who will evaluate the commission's performance and how will it often be done?
Ngubani ozokuhlola achejisise ukusebenza kwekomishini begodu kuzokwenziwa bunjani lokho?
Can the commission ensure that there will be enough permanent jobs?
Izokhona na ikomishini uqinisekisa ukuthi kuzokuba nemisebenzi yasafuthi eyaneleko na?
Not only temporary jobs in the renewable sector to make up for the loss in the coal sector.
Ingasi imisebenzi yesikhatshana kilomkhakha wokuvuselelwa kwamandla kodwa kube imisebenzi yokujamiselela imisebenzi elahlekileko.
When looking at the jobs that will be lost by the decommissioning of coal plants,
Nangqala imisebenzi ezokulahleka lokho nasele kuvalwa inkhungo zamalahle.
will the renewable sector be able to balance the jobs?
Ingabe umkhakha omutsha lo wamandla avuselelwe uzokhona ukufikelela esilinganisweni semisebenzi ezabilahlekile na?
Lastly, will there be training to current coal workers to be able to move from coal to renewables?
Kuzokuba khona na imfundo bandulo zabasebenzi abasebenza ngamalahle gadesi ukuthi bakhone ukusuka kilomkhakha wamalahle beze kilomkhakha omutsha wembaseli esivuselelweko na?
Will they have first option to get jobs when renewables start developing?
Ingabe bazokutshejwa qangi nakuvuleka amathuba wemisebenzi kile umkhakha omutsha na?
Thank you.
Sithokoze.
Thank you, Mr. Mokwal. I have noted that some of the questions, they relate to Department of Energy,
Ngiyabonga
not particularly to our department. However, we have our team that is noting everything. Those that will be able to respond to, we will respond to. But those that we are not going to be able to respond, we will take them to the relevant departments.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu ngiqaphele ukuthi eminye yemibuzo ebuzwayo yona iqondene nomnyango wezibaseli sizothatha yonke lemibuzo sinikeze ke ababhali bethu baseParliament ukuze sikwazi ukuthi sidlulisele kuleyo minyango.
Hello, okay. Thank you. My name is Sipho Mbonani from Tembisile local municipality under Ward 10.
Ngiyabonga igama lami uThembisile Mbonani ngibuya Ward 10 eThembisile municipality. Ngiyaxolisa uSipho Mbonani.
My submission towards the climate change bill is that the essential influence towards climate change should firstly work on the ground, referring to that it should change the lives of an ordinary citizen that believes that in terms of getting rid of waste, they need to ban it.
Mina engithanda ukusho ke ngiqala ngakho ukuthi ngiphonse sivivaneni ukuthi lolu hlelo lokubhekelela ukuguquguquka kwesimo sezulu ukuthi into efanele ukuthi ibandakanye imiphakathi ukuthi icwashiswe ngemithelela nangemiphumela ya noma umthelela wokuguquguquka kwesimo ukuthi bacwashiswe ukuthi kufanele ukuthi bakubhekelele kanjani.
The pace at which even the leaders are taught about the importance of saving the planet is quite slow.
Isizinga noma ukubhekelela ngendlela kusetshenzwa ngayo okwamanje kuyinto ebaluleke kakhulu ukuthi kufanele ukuthi igcizelelwe nasemphakathini.
The bill should work to strengthen its powers when it comes to facilitating learning programs of what climate change is and how it impacts the lives of an ordinary South African.
Lo mthetho sivivinywa ufanele ukuthi ugcizelele kakhulu ukucwashisa emphakathini ngale mithelela yokuguquguquka kwesimo sezulu nokuthi ithinta kanjani impilo zabantu emphakathini.
Then further, work to cap the drastical role played by enterprises that daily generate income at the expense of the planet's well-being.
Okunye futhi ukuthi babhekelele zonke lezo zinkampani ezikhipha lehase nobuthi ecekela phansi ezemvelo kanti futhi ke ethinta nempilo zemphakathi ngoba bona babhekelele ukwenza ingenelo.
In closing, we appreciate the Zondinsila program championed by the Mpumalanga Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, and further submit that we should be add-on to focus within the rural areas of Tembisile as well as Dr. J.S. Morocco. Thank you.
Okugcina ke ngithanda ukuthi ke ngibonge umnyango wesifundazwe ngokuthi ke ngezinhlelo zabo zokucwashisa imiphakathi ngemithelelo yokuguquguquka kwesimo sezulu ngithi babambe njalo baqhubeke siyabonga.
Thank you, Mr. Mbonani.
Siyabonga bambonani.
Just a few things. The speakers, they do not indicate when they are finished whether they support the bill or not, even though we could hear from their comments that they do support, but we also want to hear them saying that they do support the bill.
Okunye futhi engikuqaphele ukuthi labo abakhulumile abasho ukuthi bayusekela lo mthetho noma abawusekeli. Yize ngalokho abakukhulumayo siyezwa nje ukuthi kuyahambelana nokusekela kodwa besicela nje ukuthi nisho ukuthi uyasekela noma awusekeli.
Sithokoze. Lami bizo lula hle Tshepo Masilela. Buya eThembisile Hani municipality eWard 31.
Is your name again?
Tshepo Masilela.
Thank you very much. My work is very much simple. My name is Tepo Maslela. I'm from Tembisilani,
Tembisilahani Local Municipality.
Local municipality.
Under what 31?
Under
What
what?
31?
What 31?
Yes. Sithanda ukuthokoza kakhulu members of the parliament, na members sama what committee members who are all here and members of the public. Sithokoza kakhulu ukuthi nisilethele ihlelo elinjengaleli. This is one of the most innovative programs that we need as a society in order to emphasize some of the challenges esihlangabezana nazo mihla namalanga. So, Mr.
Yes,
Kancane program director.
Okay,
The translator, just the step and keeper of key. Because when you hear, we're trying to just deliver something big. Edlula thina, but the more, now you're-
Ndiyaxolisa Bhutsepho. Kodwa ke into onobangela wokuba sibe ne-interpreter is to make sure that wonke umuntu uya understand. Ndiyacela ke into yoba ube short,
Yeah,
umnike chance,
okay,
ungabi mde.
all right.
Yayazi abanye abantu bayaphazamiseka ke interpretation.
Okay. Yeah. Thina besithanda ukuthi ngaphambi ukuthi ngichubekele phambili ngale segment engiphethe. Bengithanda ukuthi siyathokoza kakhulu simphakathi weThembisile local municipality ukuthi ama programs anjengalawa abaleke kakhulu, especially climate change. Climate change was long overdue ukuthi kahle kahle sibe nawo lo mthetho sisekelo lo because of nangathi uqalisisa kaningi. You will never find whereby a government ikhona ukuya ukuthi iyongena ku company and say no man, we are polluting the air because of there is no act that says nina lapho ningangcolisi umoya wethu ningapollute imoya wethu. But now the submission that I want to take ukuthi siba sonke ngapha sikhambisane nayo, it's the climate change, it's highly important for us as society and as members of the public. But now, ngimangaza ukuthi sonke singapha ngiyasizwa sibiza ukuthi I'm from Thembisile local municipality and the others are saying I'm from Dr. JS. But I'm not seeing even their public representatives. They are not even councillors here. So how are we enforcing the law but we don't have the leaders here? The law needs to start whereby the parliament need to emphasize that when we have such programs like these ones, our councillors, our mayors, MECs, thank you MMC ukuba khona kwakhona. It shows true character and leadership. Siyabonga. We must emphasize with our leaders wethu abebe khona la so that nasibuyela back to our communities, we know what reports are we going to give the communities. Okwamanje our councillors are expecting us to give them the reports. They are sure what is the correct reports that we are going to give them. That's why I'm saying we need them. Parliament must emphasize umthetho othize ukuthi nabenza ama program anjengalawo ukatelele wona abaholi bethu ukuthi babe khona. They are deployed by our members of the public. They've been voted with babe lapana. So they must come here and collect this information and collect this report, take it back to the society so that the society can be equipped. Ngiyabonga. Okwanje siqhubekela phambili. I just want to table ukhulume nomphakathi about the importance of climate change. The importance of climate change. There is a need for regulations to hold government entities accountable and create obligation to prevent harmful activities. But now, kunobhuti bekajamela wachaza wathi who's going to make who and who accountable? Who's going to make who and who accountable? We need to start first by making sure that this act iyapasa and iyangeniswa ku constitution first. That's the first step. We cannot say who's going to hold this one accountable. Singakafiki laphana ukuthi this is the Climate Act esinayo in our constitution. We need to start there ukuthi sivume njengoba singapha sokuthi yes, we agree. This act is going to be very, very crucial to us as members of the society. And then going forward, it's whereby we check the regulations on how to accountisa abantu ngaleyo ndlela leyo. But esikhathini samanje siyindlu sonke, we must come to a resolution of saying this is an important act. Yes, we agree that the climate change was tabled in Parliament on 2022, yeah, February. But now is 2023, not yet even the Constitution. So I will say my submission would no, it's very important to have this act, very highly important, because of we save impilo, zethu. So ngiyathemba ukuthi wonke umuntu la uyaku-understand ukubaluleka kwakhe nokubaluleka kwale act le esize ngayo la kwanamhlanje la. And then going back kule ndaba le yama leaders leyana, Asomplief, members of the parliament, nani ningasprashi, nasubela sihlala phasi nisprashi, and our submissions are not yet submitted to the relevant people. Singisabuyelela. Can the parliament make a regulation that forces our leaders to attend such programs? Let's say, because Tina, we are ward committee members, but we're expecting councillors to be here, to assisting us now. Now we are ngaphandle emphakathini bazi ukuthi bokutshela umphakathi ukuthini. Lokho kubaluleke kakhulu lokho. Siyabonga.
Nkosi, Mr. Masilela, we have noted everything that you have raised, and even yesterday we had the same problem of public representatives who were not in this public hearing. We have noted that and we will definitely take it up. Thank you.
Sikutshejile okukhulunywe ngumhlonishwa oqeda ukusuka lapha la izolo indaba le iyavela nokho sifakela amehlo sizayilandelela. Sihlalo, may I Chair, may I summarize just a little, but
Yes.
I beg for indulgence, Slalo, because the speaker code switched a lot, with due respect to him. Yeah. Engingakutsho ukukhulunywa ngumhlonishwa ilunga lomphakathi ukulile khulu ngokungabi khona kwabadosiphambili bomphakathi njengamameya ama-MMC namakhansela wathokoza khulu u-MEC okhona hlangana nathi. Uthi akuhlali ukuthi umphakathi ngiwemdele uze emhlanganweni bese uthatha umbiko ubuyisela kumakhansela. Amakhansela azokwazi njani ukuthi umbiko lo ingiwona ngombana ngibe kufanele bakhambe phambili bahole isitshaba. Uyabawa ukuthi iparlamente ize nomthetho ozakukatelela ukuthi nakunemhlangano yomphakathi abaholi bomphakathi ibe ngibo abakhamba phambili. Ugandelele nokuqhakatheka kakhulu kwalomthetho omlingwa nokuthi unenzuzo enkulu emphakathini kodwa into yokuthoma akuphase umthetho omlingwa lo ngaphambi kokuthi kutshejwe eminye imibuzo njengaloyo ekhe yavezwa ngomunye wengikhulumi. Kafitshazana Sihlalo. Thank you.
Sanibonani njani?
Lochani.
Before ngicala ngacela nento baba nama ngenzele le privilege ukuthi ngikhulume ngicede bese uza after. Okay. Igama ngikhuleka noMahlangu. Company Search as an organization yet representing the people. Now njengoba silasi create le bill le construct a Department of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment, and then he submit again as Parliament for assessing. So Tina, as the people lies, Steve Chwet, are you going to consultation A1 I recall, I mean, I conduct a Department of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment. Now, kuma consultations and attend outside of lies, Steve Chwet. The FFE never finished or concluded those consultations. That means azanke sitholi conclusions yokuthi ama monitoring tools nama monitoring instruments iswa structure njani. So they didn't finish such things, including the PCC nayo. Kona ama consultation processes azanka phele. So there are certain instruments or strategic directions ezanke bakhona ukuthi bawathole nabo in context in full. So now in terms of national adoption to impact on climate change, like climate change, Mculu bega presenter like purpose of this public engagement. So gizo zonke lezinto as identify lezas khotile la, none of them is being done because as said good ama leaders wethu nabantu ekumele bas represent thina on local government or on local spheres, they are not here. So in terms of the intergovernmental framework, coordination yayo on how to source this information from the national level to the local level. Now, structure and format yakon, it's not promising as we speak. Because there are no people here who are going to account or teach us or educate us about the further processes of this climate bill. Now, in terms of nale page ngapha, general matters and transitional arrangements. Amongst all these consultations, like, look at the people here. Is this a public consultation? It's not. It's just a consultation being done just to speed track climate change and response yakho, of which it's going to impact on people, on black people in general. Because we as black people, we still have above 60% yabantu abasese below the upper bound poverty line. So, bagup manje. In terms of vulnerability assessment, conduction yalo, no one doesn't know social economic challenges while the country is now. So, in terms of, with knowing all those challenges and all those problems, this is a bill, it's final. So, apart from yonke le information this consultation take place right now, is it just? That's my question. As you proceed, because it brings revolution. And the revolution is at least so my question is, can you also, as representatives, tell me, is this consultation just? Thank you.
This is not a final.
Igama lami ngingukhulekani Mahlangu. Nofana umnyango wesifunda ungatsho ukuthi uyaqhubeka nalomthethomlingwa, kodwa kukhona ingaba ezithile engakhange zenziwe mayelana nokuthintana nomphakathi, lokho esingathi ma consultations. Ngitsho nezinto zokusetshenziswa ukuhlathulula lomphakathi ukuthi ngimaphi amathulusi wokuchecha ukusilaphazeka kwebhoduluko asetshenziswayo, ama monitoring tools akhenge sitshelwe kuhle. Nayi ukuthi yakhe abakhona eminye imihlangano akhange iphele nokuphela. Lokhu okukhulunywe ngumhlonishwa uma umchunu iye ukwethulile yena, kodwa lapha emakhaya namkha ebujameni bikamasipala wekhaya akukwenziwa, akukapheleli, begodu akuthembisi nokuthi kuza kwenzeka. Nasiqale kuhle akukho nokuziphendulela i-accountability ngalokhu okwenziwa badosi phambili. Now checha ukuthi isizwe esinzima esihlagako siyadlula ku 60%. Akunandlela ecacileko ekhuluma ngokuchecha labo abanganabuyo esingathi vulnerability assessment eyenziweko. Lo mhlangano njengoba kuthiwa mhlangano wemibono nokubonisana, ngokukhamba kwami awukhambi kuhle, kanti lo mthethomlingwa bozokuletha amachuguluko afaneleko. Ngiyathokoza.
Good afternoon. My name is Kritis Kosana.
Sorry, Sis Pretty. Before you, Madam, with due respect, I think I need to clarify something. This public hearing, the reason why we are here, we want to get your inputs so that they can be incorporated to this. This is not a final bill or act. That is why we will be traveling the entire country, covering 9 provinces to get inputs. Hence, we also say those who do not have a chance to do oral submissions, they must do written submissions. This is the first province. Siyaqala ngoku. This is our first leg of this consultation. We started here in Mpumalanga. We will be visiting all other provinces. Ndifuna nje uklarify lonto.
Bengifuna ukucacisela umphakathi ukuthi lo ngowokuthoma umhlangano mayelana nokwakhiwa nokuklanywa komthethomlingwa lo. Size lapha uzokubawa imibono yenu njengomphakathi bese siyayifaka ekwakhiwe kwemibiko ezakuba khona. Okulandela kodwa okuqhakathekileko umphakathi wekhethu ukuthi sisazokuhambela nezinye imfunda ngawo lo mthethomlingwa, nina ningabo kuthoma esithome ngabo ukuza lapha. Ngakho usakhiwa kusaragwa nokuklanywa kwalo mthethomlingwa. Usihlalo bekacacisa lokho.
Over to you, Sis Pretty. And your surname? Sorry.
Kosana.
Sis Pretty Kosana.
Yeah, okay. The bill is very weak on compliance and enforcement.
Umthetho lo ubonakala ke uboga kuhle kuhle ngokukhambisana nento kuhle kuhle ofanele uyenze.
My first question is that why are the penalties for non-compliance not set out properly in the bill?
Umbuzo wami wokuthoma uthi kungani ukuthi mhlambe ke ukuthi ukuziphendulela kusho ukuthi nangabe umuntu khona akonileko kubekwe nje ukuthi ke uzokwenziwani kubekwe khona la emthethweni.
Does the bill really ensure that offenders are taken to task for non-compliance?
Ngabe umthetho lo uyakusho ukuthi labo okay uyakusho ukuthi labo abangakenzi kuhle abangakhambi ngalo mthetho na kukhona abazokwenziwa khona na?
Yeah, that will be all from me.
Bengilo nje imbuzo wami.
Are you done, madam?
Yes.
Thank you, sis. Thank you. You've noted your questions.
Yeah.
Okay, sanibonani.
Molo, tata.
Chair, ngizobuyela emuva. Siyabonga ukuthi this is the first province eniza kiyo. But kumele sibe honest ukuthi this process ibe effective. Njengoba nani niplanile, nathi bekumele nisinike isikhathi esi-enough sokuprepare.
Re leboga gore re bile bo mathomo le tle go bona. Gomme ge ke hlalose gape gore ka ge e le gore lena le ile la bana le nako ya gore le rulaganye le rena ka be le rile la re fa nako ya gore re kgone go ka itukiša.
So if a team yenu ifika la on a Tuesday and then they start running errands all over the municipalities, but they prepare for today, I don't think it's fair and honest to us.
Ge sehlopha sa lena se fihlile mo ka la bobedi gomme ba kgona go ka tsena mo motseng ba lebella gore a ka ba dilo di sepela jwang gomme kopano e ya boa ya ba le kgono a ke nagane gore seo se a amogelega ga ke nagane gore re filwe nako yeo e lekane go rena.
So, Chair, part of what I want to submit, Uguti, you guys must come back. And before you come back, tell your educational team, Uguti, let them go back to our communities and educate people about the climate change so that Nanibuya, we will be in a position to make more meaningful contributions.
Gomme ge karolo ya seo ke nyakang go se bolela ke gore le swanetse le boe gomme sehlopha seo e leng gore le a se romela ke kgopela gore le ba botse gore ba ke ba rute setšhaba ka phetogo ya seemo sa leratadima gomme ka tsela yeo re tlo kgona gore le rena re kgone go kgatha tema ka tsela ya maleba.
Then the second thing, Chair, I want to clarify, climate change is not just an environmental issue.
Gomme ntlha ya bobedi o ke nyakang go e hlakiša ke gore phetogo ya leratadima ga se taba yeo e leng gore e mabapi le tikologo fela.
Climate change is a human rights issue, it's a service issue, it's a health issue. If I don't have water, then there's a problem. If I don't have land, there's a problem. So climate change is not just limited to environment, it crisscrosses across all the boundaries in society.
E mabapi le ditokelo tša batho, e mabapi le kabo ya ditirelo, e mabapi le tša maphelo ka lebaka la gore ge e le gore se ama metsi goba se ama moya e kgwatha mo ditokelong tša batho e boa gape e tsena mo go tša maphelo.
So, Chair, in the next consultation, it would be nice to have everyone. Because, for instance, we can't develop a policy on climate change without getting a direction from the health department. Because, I mean, we've just seen a case at end. People went missing, people were sick, but even our own disaster management couldn't respond to that. So we need everybody on board.
Jwale ge la mafelelo ke tla bolela gore go bohlokwa kudu gore batho ba fiwe thuto batho ba kgone go ka botswa gore a e ka ba kopano e tlo bang gona e tlo ba mabapi le eng gore ba kgone go ka itukiša ka lebaka la gore ge batho e le gore ga ba fiwa tsebo yeo e lekanego mabapi le kopano yeo e tlo bang gona se se dira gore batho ba palelwe ke go ka araba goba go be le ditshwaelo tšeo ba ka di dirago.
Then Chair, there's this whole issue around information. Okay, we didn't get all these documents in time, but that's for this session. After making this bill, we have a problem. Because you come back and tell us whether it's confidentiality clauses. Then information is secret. And then you ask an ordinary person, if you want emission reports, then you must go through the public access to information. We don't have that capacity because we know we end up in court. So this bill, reports, let the public portal. We don't have to use IPAYA to get that information. That information is about protecting our rights way to a public portal.
Jwale ge kgopelo ke gore tshedimošo ye e lego mabapi le molaokakanywa o e swanetše e be yeo e leng gore e kgona go kwa hwetšagala bonolo a ya swanela gore e be ntho eo e leng gore mafelelong swanetše go iwe dikgorong tša tshekelo gore re kgone go ka hwetša tshedimošo a e be mo public portal goba mo e leng gore mang le mang kgona go e fihlelela.
Then Chair, there are two things. One, I don't know how long this process is going to take, but it will be interesting to know what nini. But then there's another important aspect. In the bill itself, but the minister will do emissions target or sectoral emission targets. We are talking about doing carbon budgets. We are talking about emissions trajectory. At that time frame, it's just the minister will. And I don't think we have another 2-3 years to waste because right now we can see it may change econ. So this process must be fast tracked and a time frame clear so that Nati is hold accountable if you fail at that time.
Jwale ge kgopela gore tsela tshepetšo e be yeo e leng gore e dirwa ka potlako gore e kgone go ka fela ka lebaka la gore a ke nagane gore re santsane re na le mengwaga e mentši yeo e leng gore re ka tlohlwa re ntše re le gare re leka go ka thala molaokakanywa o le gona a ke nagane goreng go ya le ka mokgwa o ngwadilweng ka gona go bolelwa fela gore minister go batona o tlo dira so o tlo dira jo a go hlalose gore a e ka ba seo se tlile go dirwaneng ke ka go ke hlalosang gore a ke tsela tshepetšo ye e dirwe ka potlako e kgone go ka fela.
And Chair, I think it should also be an offense for people to provide false information. And that should include both the emitters and government officials. And we have seen, I think, over the past 2-3 years, ESCOM have been providing false emission data. And it's only, I think, 2 years back where Kendall was taken to court for providing misinformation. So providing false information should be a clear offense with a clear penalty. Singati is an offense, but it should also have a clear penalty.
Gomme ge ke nagana gore go aba tshedimošo e fošagetšego e swanetše e be tshelo ya molao ka lebaka la gore mengwaga e fetileng re kgonne go ka hwetša tsebo ya gore eskom e be e fana ka tshedimošo yeo e fošagetšego mabapi le moši o e leng gore ya o ntšha jwale ga ke nagane gore e swanetše e be tshelo ya molao fela upša go swanetše go hlake gore a e ka ba ge motho goba company e tshetše molao a e ka ba kotlo yeo e tlo e hwetšago ke ya mohuta mang.
Then Chair, I think penalties also a problem nyana because there's only one penalty mentioned now. Failure to submit a greenhouse gas emission plan. It doesn't say if you fail to comply with your emission budget, what happens. So it should be very specific to say, we've allocated this budget. If you fail to comply with that, this is the penalty. Because currently, it means, oh no, you can submit a plan, then that's it. You don't have to comply. So, agna improvement is whatsoever.
Jwale a ke bone ka re go na le kaonafalo yeo re tlo e hwetšang ka lebaka la gore seo molaokakanywa o se bolelago fela ke gore ge o paletšwe ke go ntšha leano la gago eupša ga o bolele gore a e ka ba kotlo yeo e leng gore o tlo e fiwa ge e le gore mohlomong o gatakile molao o ke efe.
And then it also talks about the minister having a power to monitor other state entities. And we know there's always been this discussion, intergovernmental cooperation, it's not working. I think it needs to be clear, it must have teeth. The minister must be given the powers Now so that everybody understands. Right now it's like, it's too general. You know, the minister will be empowered to, but there are no specific steps. The minister will be empowered to do 1, 2, 3 in order to ensure that there's enough cooperative governance.
gomme ge e tšwela pele mo e bolela gore tona o tlile go fiwa maatla a bohlapetši eupša ga e nape e tsenelela e fa tshedimošo eo e felletšego gore go kgone go ka hlaka go kwešišege gore a e ka ba maatla a tona ke afe le gona dikotlo ke dife.
And also, I think we are getting provincial government, local government to be involved. But the common cry is, one, we don't have enough human resources. 2, we don't give them enough financial support because we always say the treasury has allocated this. 3, we don't give enough technical and knowledge support. So I think we must be very clear as to say, this is a big responsibility we're giving to local government. How are we going to provide support in these 3 spheres?
Jwale ge re leka go ka tsenyeletša le mebušo ya selegae eupša bothata ke gore ga gona bahlankedi bao ba lekanego le gona ga gona mašeleng ao a lekanego bakeng sa gore ba kgone go ka phethagatša mošomo wa bona gomme sa boraro ke gore ga gona tsebo goba thuto yeo e leng gore ba efa gore ba kgone go ka dira mošomo wa bona ka tsela ya maleba.
Lastly, I think, Chair, climate change is very urgent. We need to deal with it urgently. But in our own scenario, sifuna ukusebenzisa ama national, what's it? NTC, national determined contributions, waka 2015. Currently, we're complaining ukuthi the NTC yaka 2021 needs to be updated. But in this document, we want to use the scenario yaka 2015. And I'm sure there's enough science if we use that scenario, practically we're saying South Africa must die. So I think we need to be more ambitious in terms of planning here too, and say, let's update our NTCs at 2021 and take the updated version and say we will use it. Let's develop our scenarios and our emission targets.
Before you leave, Dada, you did not tell us your name. You have raised a lot of valuable points, but we also want to capture your name.
My name is Thomas Mnguni. I work for Groundwork.
Thomas Mnguni, siyabonga, Mr. Mnguni. Thank you very much for your inputs.
Bothata bjo bja phetogo ya leratadima ke bothata bjo e leng gore ke bja tšhoganetšo bjale ge go lwantšhana le bjona le rena tshwantše re tloge re potlakiša magato a rena go ka kgona go ka fenya ntwa e gomme go bonala fa gore re berekiša dithulaganyo goba maano a 2015 mola e le gore seo se bontšha gore re tšhaletše morago gomme ge re tshwantše re tloge re bontšha gore re ikemišeditše re tloge re kaonafatša ntwa ya rena.
You raised the issue of a time frame, asking this process, when is it going to be concluded? In terms of our program, we intend to finish on May this year, May 2023, and also the written submissions, it's their due date in May 2023.
O botšišitše potšo e bohlokwa gore a e ka ba tsela tshepetšo ye re tlo e fetšaneng gomme karabo ke gore ke ka May 2023 mmogo le tšona ditshwaelo tšeo di ngwadilwego ke ka May 2023.
And goes over to you, Puti.
Sanibonani, ninjani? Igama lami David Nyembe ngibuya ePhola eWateti. Before bengicela neje uyishaya ngiqede chaya ngizangilandela after ne. Okay, salute. Bengizoqala ngibonga uMama Khina wase 28 ukuba khona kwethu kuyikhansela liwanda sePhola, even though I 3 ama cancel sithi halala lapho Mama Khina. Our remarks since ngi chairperson yemakhuwa ePhola la ku climate change, it will be good and just to include a clause in the new amendment bill that speaks to community meaningfully participation prior to the granting of environmental authority. And secondly, to mitigate the high volume of carbon, there must be also a clause in the bill that puts pressure to the polluters to adopt engineering
mechanism to lower carbon emission. Kuloko ukuchubeka labo ku national sine problem yokuthi nesitshela ngama forum nama municipality forum at the end of the day masibuza ukuthi lama forum initiate kanjani, how do we get involved kulawo ma stakeholder and stuff bakutshela ukuthi awaka initiate siphinde sibuye sinenkinga yokujethe ukuthi asihlali si local discuss indaba yejet kuyimaye na ibill nithi nisazobuya nobuya futhi nesithole se vulnerable singakahlangani sonke bheka idulo empty my but nithi nize ku community yase Steve Jet accommodate abantu abaningi kakhulu amalahleni and lot of people but bheka sibancane njani. I think nalo kumele inphathisa amahloni kancane lena. Ngiyabonga la.
Siyabulela but David.
So briefly, the gentleman has just mentioned now that first of all, he wants to thank you, the councillor. I think they've got 3 ward councillor in their area, but here there is Miss Khina who is here. So he's so happy about that and he congratulates that she has made time to come here. So that's the first thing. And the second thing that he mentioned, ukhulume ngokuthi kudingeka ukuthi kwenziwe ukuhlelo kuhle uma kuhlelwa lezi zingqungquthela ezifana nalezi ngoba akusizi ukwakha izingqungquthela ezifana nalezi uma abantu bengekho. Kufanele abantu babe khona ngoba lokhu kusuke kwenzelwa bona. Ngakho kufanele baziswe kusenesikhathi ukuthi kuzoba nento ezifana nalezi bese bayeza babe khona. Kanti uphinde waveza futhi elinye iphuzu libalulekile le National Forum ukuthi njoba sifunda lapha kulomthetho sivivinywa siyezwa ukuthi kukhona ama National Forum. Kodwa ngaso sonke isikhathi uma bezama ukusondela kuwo batshelwa ukuthi awakaqala ukusebenza. Manje enye into ebakhathazayo leyo ukuthi azoqala nini kanti ngoba siyezwa kuyakhulunywa ngawo kodwa siwaboni esebenza. Ngakho enye into futhi leyo ayiphakamisile ukuthi kufanele ibhekelelwe ukuze lokho okukhulunywa ngakho lapha kube nezinyathelo eziyaphambili ezikwenzayo.
Ngithokoze. Igama lami nguthamsanqa ngokaMahlangu. Ngibuya eWard 7 eThemsilane. Into engayisho ukuthi okuningi ngathi nje sebakhulumile. To be honest ngiyayisupporta ibill. Khulukhulu lapha ngithena ngichecka lendinyana i25 section 25 le laba khuluma khona ngokususa igasi ehlaza sithi ama chemical noma apheliswe. But now ikinga ukuthi into ebengifuna ukubuza kakhulu ukuthi uma ngabe mhlambi yasuswa ingabe ungqongqoshe mhlambi zikhona izindlela zokuthi laba bantu ekade basebenza ngama chemicals mhlambi kuma industries benza ona lama chemicals la afaka khona la mhlambi uzobanikeza yini ama training ukuthi ngoba it's obvious nabaphelisa lama chemical should sezoba nabantu abalahlekelwa umsebenzi iwari lami bekhona khona lapha. Then okwesibili ngiyathokoza njengoba ngine forum ngalendlela siba nama challenges khulukhulu kuma municipalities amaningi, not only in my own but nasikhamba ngoba sikhamba cishe yonke le ndawo uthola like abantu balahlela idoti celeni kemfula. And then now to khuluma mhlambe nama officials from kwamasipala ngikhuluma manje about since last year se report ukuthi kunenzibi ezilahlela eceleni komfula. Imvula uma ina like amanzi lawa athatha le doti bese waphushela lokanje emanzini bese lamanzi abulawa amafishi phakathi. So sizocela ukuthi mhlambe le forum nangabe ikhona mhlambe sazothi itholakala kanjani sizokwazi ukuyikhulumisa then mhlambe sizokwazi ukutshintsha ilo mhlambe izokwazi ukusinceda ngokuthi sifundise futhi nabantu the very same forum izizofundisa nabantu ukubaluleka kwemvelo. Ngiyathokoza.
My name is
Siyabulela,
Tamsanga Mahlangu. The gentleman just mentioned now, first of all, he mentioned that he supports the bill. This is a good bill, so he supports the bill very well. So, but now he mentioned the point about these companies that produce emissions that these dangerous chemicals. So now, since there will be a law that will eliminate that, so what will happen to those people who are using those chemicals? Will there be any training to train them? Because it's possible that there will be jobs that will be lost. So how are they going to handle that after this law has been implemented? So are there any training that will be given? So I think that's the first question that he mentioned. And the second one, he also complained about people who throw away refuse or garbage wherever they want. Some of them are just thrown next to the rivers, and that also affect the environment because it kills some of the fishes there. So now, is there any training also on that part in order to protect our environment that can be given to those people, that they shouldn't throw refuse wherever they want, but they should be monitored? So that's the second thing the gentleman mentioned about garbage or refuse.
Thank you, Mr. Mahlangu. I am going to take the second round. Apologies to Okhosi. I promise that I will do a second round. Can I see the hands?
Sizothatha umzuliswano wesibili ke ngoba ngithembisile ake sicele ke siphakamise izandla.
Abaphakamisile ngicela bazojoin abaphakathi. Cela uze
Those who
uzojoin
have raised
abaphakathi.
up their hands, they can come to these seats who are reserved for them here in the middle.
Put with the white cap, you are the last one. Thank you. We are closing it then after you, the horses will speak. Thank you.
Ake umnumzana ofaka ikepisi emhlophe uyena ozoba ukugcina kuyothi ke uma sekuqediwe ke bese bekhuluma ondaba ezitha bagoqa.
Ungathetha sisi.
Thank you. My name is Palesa Mobango. I am a resident of Steve Tshwete local municipality.
Igama lami uPalisa Mbango, nami ngiyisakhamuzi sakhona lapha kumasipala wase Steve Tshwete.
I think in essence, the bill is drafted in good faith.
Ngicabanga ukuthi ngempela umthethosivivinyo lona ubhalwe kunezinhloso ezinhle.
But unfortunately, from my opinion, the bill does not speak to the contributors of climate issues.
Kodwa ngicabanga ukuthi ngeshwa wona lo mthethosivivinyo engathi awukhulumi nalaba bantu abaneqhaza kulomonakalo wokonakaliswa kwesiguquguquka kwesimo sezulu.
And if you were aware of your surroundings coming into our province, specifically coming into this side of our province, I'm sure by just breathing our air, you can tell the difference in air quality.
Uma nikubonile ngempela umonakalo esibhekene nawo, anidinganga nokuthi sesinitshele ngokuphefumula nje nizwile ukuthi kuhlukile lapha kunakwezinye indawo.
And now, I'm sure you are also aware at the fact that our province is one of the largest contributors of air pollution in the country, which then us as a province actually take us on top of the contributors of climate change in the continent and even in, the world globally.
Futhi ngiyazi ukuthi niyaqonda ukuthi isifundazwe sethu sihamba phambili ekubangeleni lokuguquguquka kwesimo sezulu. Futhi kungenzeka akuthinti nje isifundazwe, kuthinta izwe lonke, kungenzeka yithi esiphambili eqhulwini esinesandla kulokho. Mhlawumbe nasekuzwekazini lonke lase-Afrika sihamba phambili ekubeni nesandla ekuguquguqukeni kwesimo sezulu.
So what we would appreciate and would like to see in the language of the bill is how is this bill going to then enforce in terms of the mining industry, enforcement, like how and when will they be held accountable for the gas emissions that they are responsible for. And maybe just for a second, if I may. Let's look at what is happening now globally. We have the war that is affecting now our mining industry, not affecting it negatively, it's affecting it positively. And by affecting it positively, it means ukuthi thina, the normal residents, are going to feel the pinch because there is no regulation in terms of the gas emission that all of these mining companies are then just making it worse, making the situation worse.
Siyazi ukuthi ni yaqonda ukuthi omunye umonakalo obangwayo lokuguquguquka kwesimo sezulu ubangwa izimayini. Manje umbuzo wami ukuthi nizoqiniseka kanjani ninoma nizokuphoqelela kanjani ukulandelwa komthetho kwikakhulukazi kulabo abakhipha lo moya ongcolile oyicarbon ophumela ngaphandle. Njengamanje kunempi siyakwazi lokho asisho ukuthi thina lempi isithinta kabi kodwa uma kuziwa endabeni yokukhishwa komoya lo moya uyasilimaza noma awonakalisi nje kuphela kodwa uba neqhaza ekuguquguqukeni kwesimo sezulu.
So the bill needs to speak specifically to the mining industry.
Manje umthetho sivivinyo maungalokhu shona lena le ugudla iguma awuqonde ngqo ukukhulume nemboni yezimayini.
Even if it's a section within the bill that speaks to the role of the mining industry in terms of climate change, the role of the mining industry in terms of alleviating gas emissions, the role of the mining industry in terms of funding back into the community what they would have taken, which is it's basic lives. There's people dying from the gas emissions that is specifically coming out of mining towns in this province.
Akube nesigatshana kulomthetho sivivinyo esizobheka ngqo izimayini. Sibuze sizinikeze okokuqala ukuthi umonakalo oguquguquka kwesimo sezulu siulawula kangakanani. Kodwa kungagcini lapho kuphela. Akuphinde futhi kube nomthetho okhuluma nazo izimayini ukuthi njengoba ke zithola inzuzo ngomsebenzi eziwenzayo ziubuyisela kanjani kumphakathi ezakhe phakathi kwawo ngalomonakalo sezisuke seziubangele ngesikhathi zenza umsebenzi wawo.
In terms of enforcement, in the bill, it speaks to the Environmental Management Act and how there is certain, and I'm failing to find the words, enforcement in terms of not complying. It's weak in that essence. I think everybody else has spoken to it. There is no clear guideline. Even if, let's say, we as a community were to take a specific mine to court in terms of their gas emission, this act in itself is not read clearly in terms of application, in terms of enforcement, in terms of repercussions. So you guys need to go back and really look at what are the penalties. Are they clear penalties? Is it penalties that will cut deep into the people that are making a living out of making communities poorer health-wise?
Akene ubhekisise lo mthetho sivivinyo ngoba ngisho uzichaza izinto uzibeka kodwa njengoba sebekhulumile abaningi lo mthetho sivivinyo ngathi awucaci kahle uma sekuziwa endabeni yenhlawulo nokuhlawuliswa kwabaliswa kanjani. Singasuka manje sithathe imayini sizise enkantolo siyozifaka zona kodwa wona lo mthetho wezemvelo nawo futhi uphinde ungasizi lapho ukuthi sibheke sikwazi ukuphumelela kulelo cala ngoba awukubekanga kwacaca ukuthi ime kanjani inhlawulo. Ngakho mawubhekwe ngenxa ukuthi okwenziwa izimayini kuba ngumonakalo ezakhamuzini ezihlala kuleyo ndawo ezikuyona. Ngakho umthetho mawubhekane ngqo futhi ukwenze cace ukuthi zihlawuliswa kanjani.
So just as to wrap up, in essence, I agree with what the bill is trying to the guidelines that it's trying to put forward. But let us work more in the enforceability and specificalities of the bill in terms of certain industries and the harm and the pollution that they contribute to us as a society. It's not good enough that they can just report on their gas emissions. After reporting, what is there in terms of application that can be done to help other people? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sis Palesa.
Sengigoqa nje kulokho akusanda kukusho ukuthi lo mthetho sivivinya impela make uthi uqonda ngqo kule ndaba ukubheka ukuthi imphumela iba yini yalokho kusebenza okunjalo futhi bese ubheka imikhakha ethile ozobhekana nje ngqo nayo ukuchaza ukuthi kufanele ngomonakalo wenzile ukukhishwa kwecarbon eyonakalisa ukuphila kwabantu uhlawuliswa kangakanani.
Fortunately, we have the MEC who will be able to respond in some of the issues that we have raised. It is coming strongly that the mining industries and the petrochemical plants are the biggest emitters. So some of the things in relation to the fines and the MEC will respond.
I guess kula ngoba phela sinaye kungqongqoshe ke okhona ke lapha ozochaza ngoba kuyabonakala impela ukuthi yashisa indaba yokuthi imayini zinesandla kuloko kanye nalabo abakhiqiza amandla njengopetrol. Ngakho ke manje siyajabula ukuthi ungqongqoshe ukhona uzokwazi ukuchaza uma kuziwa kulembuzo enibuzile ethinta ngisho nokuhlawuliswa.
Thank you. You can speak, Buti.
Sanibonani, mina nguNhlanhla Ngwakasibisi. I'm with Greenpeace Africa, the Climate and Energy Campaigner. And thanks for the opportunity. Whoever that's going to interpret, if they can just allow me to go point by point and then you can interpret. I mean, so that I don't lose my train of thought. I think to start with, to start from the top, ANC, DA, EFF, I think you should start being serious about climate change by including that in your manifestos. You have that opportunity come 2024 to actually bring up ambitious targets, ambitious commitments to what you will be bringing as a government, whether you are ruling provincially or whether you are ruling nationally. But I think it should start there at the top. And the reason why I say that, because one of the things that we are lacking in South Africa is strong political will to challenge climate change. And if political parties can actually start doing that, I think whichever province and as I said, whether it's nationally, you will get more commitment from the officials that need to implement those targets. And it'll also give us an opportunity, as was alluded by one of my comrades here, that probably we'll also have a more ambitious NDC, because currently what we are working with right now is not ambitious enough.
Ithi ngiqale nje isethulo sami nje ngokuthi ngicela ukuthi iANC, iDA, EFF babonise ukuzimisela manje ngalesi simo sokuguquguquka kwesimo sezulu kube izinto ukuthi bazifaka eqhulwini ku manifesto noma incwadi yezethembiso ebazozenzela umphakathi. Ngoba lokho ngiyacabanga ukuthi ke kuyinto ebaluleke kakhulu ngoba kufanele ukuthi uma sesihlangene sonke singakwazi ukuthi siphonse inselele esibhekane nayo ngokuguquguquka kwesimo sezulu nayo nemithelela ebakhona emphakathini. Kufanele ukuthi ngakho ke kufanele ukuthi sizibophezele kakhulu ukuthi sisebenzele ukuthi sifinyelele lezo zinto esiziphokophele ukuya ngokunqanda noma ukugwema lemithelela yokuguquguquka kwesimo sezulu. Ngicabanga ukuthi yiyo into ebaluleke kakhulu ukuthi kufanele ukuthi siyenze ukuze sikhuthaze nomphakathi nabo ukuthi bakwazi ukuthi basekele.
And now going to the bill itself. So just to start with the point of the Presidential Commission, one of the suggestions that we are strongly making, and it's heartwarming to see that that the Presidential Commission will be able to appoint members from civil society, because that's where you find the lived experiences that translate exactly what climate change means to ordinary people. They may not be speaking the language that we speak when we put in this bill, but the language that communities understand quite well is what is happening to them on a daily basis. We're talking about your ordinary folk, we're talking about your farmers, we're talking about your workers, etc., etc. So one of the things that also need to happen, and I'm glad, I'm going to try not to repeat, some of the things that have been mentioned, but one of the things that actually need to happen is that the decision making that comes from communities should be given some level of power, if not absolute power. And why do I say so? Because the communities do know what is actually happening on the ground. And the problem is that at times when we talk about getting communities involved, whether at a local level or provincial level or whatever the case may be, it's like a tick box, a tick box exercise where people are not given meaningful power to express exactly what they are going through.
Okunye futhi ukuthi uma ngiza ke kule ndaba yomthetho sivivinywa njengoba kukhulunywa la ukuthi ke kuzosungulwa i-presidential commission ezoluleka umongameli maqondana nokusetshenziswa kwa lo mthetho. Ngicabanga ukuthi ke kuyinto enhle kodwa bengicela nje ukuthi ke kubukisiswe ukubandakanywa kwemphakathi njengoba kushiwo kulo mthetho osivivinywa ukuthi ke kuzoqokwa abantu abasemphakathini ukuthi bakwazi ukuthi baphonse isivivaneni uma kwelulekwa umongameli ngamasu abhekelele ukugwema ukuguquguquka noma ukugwema imithelela yokuguquguquka kwesimo sezulu. Engikucelayo ukuthi sibukisise kahle ke uma sibhala lemthetho ngoba labantu labo bona banesipiloni salemthelela ngoba baphansi lapha emphakathini futhi ngesinye isikhathi ungathola ukuthi abazwisisi lokho ukubhala noma ulimi olusetshenzisiwe ukubhala lemthetho sivivinywa kodwa ke bona lokho bangakuphonsa sivivaneni kubaluleke kakhulu ngoba yibo abantu abathinteka kakhulu emphakathini ngemithelela yokuguquguquka kwesimo sezulu nsuku zonke. Abalimi abasebenzi imiphakathi njalo njalo bathinteka futhi banesipiloni bengakwazi ke ukuthi ke bafake ichaza elingcono ukuphucula lo mthetho. Kanti okunye futhi ukuthi izinqumo noma lokho kuphonsa isivivaneni imphakathi bengicela ukuthi ke kubukisiswe kahle kunakwe ngoba ngiyacabanga ukuthi ke bona yibo abantu abanamagunya ukuthi bayazi ngoba baphila ngaphansi kwale mithelela. Yilokho nje engithanda ukuthi ke sikubukisise ukuze sikwazi ukuthi ke uma ke sesiqambile lemithetho kube khona ukunamathela kuyo ukuba nemiphumela emihle.
Secondly, it's good enough to have institutions that are actually going to ensure that all the decisions and the powers that are given with regards to this climate change bill, this bill that it's able to be implemented. But one thing that we should be very clear about is that do we have standing institutions that are going to execute this, or are we going to give more powers to political officers? And when I say political officers, I'm referring to your mayors, to your I'm starting from the president to the lowest person that's in a political appointee. Because why? As we all know, parties come and go. Individuals within their parties, they get redeployed and they go out. And that's where the problem comes in, because now you have one person who does not have that political will, as I mentioned, when I started off, or has the political will and then they get recycled. But then we have to start all over again, as was alluded earlier on, that the decision-making process must sit with institutions, because as we would know, institutions are there for longer than a person can be there, and that gives us an opportunity to actually ground whatever decisions and powers that will actually, that will come out of this bill.
Okunye futhi ukuthi engifuna ukwazi ukuthi ingabe ke lezi zikhungo okukhulunywa ngazo ukuthi ingabe seziqanjiwe na, ngoba mina into engiyibonile ukuthi uma sesibhekelela ngokwamagunya kanye nokusetshenziswa kwalemthetho ngiyibona ukuthi ke izikhungo yizo ezikwazi ukuthi zenze noma zibe nemiphumela engcono. Manje ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi ingaba ukuthathwa kwalezi zinqumo kuzenziwa yilabo abosombusazwe yini okusuka kumongameli ukwehlela phansi ukufika lapha kusodolophi umeya. Ngikusho lokhu ke ngoba siyazi ke ukuthi osopolitiki bona bangena baphume kanti ke isikhungo sona sihlala sikhona ngaso sonke isikhathi. Manje mina ke ngiphonsa inselelo ukuthi ke kubukisiswe lokho ukuthi ke lawo magunya anikezwe kuzikhungo ngoba izikhungo zakwazi ke ukuthi ke ziqhubekise izinjongo zale mithetho nalokho okuhlosiwe kunanokuthi amandla wonke anikezwe osopolitiki ngoba kungenzeka ke ukuthi ngokuzayo uthola ukuthi osopolitiki abasekho laba bangenayo kufanele ukuthi baqale phansi kodwa uma lawo mandla naleyo misebenzi inikezwe izikhungo kuba khona ukuqhubekela phambili.
My second last point. So when it comes to the bill, one of the things that I'd like to clearly say is that, and that's based on the points that have been mentioned earlier on, and I said I won't repeat what they have said. But if we look at the targets, the penalties, whether it's fines, the commitments in terms of the reports that needs to be submitted, the compliance, etc., that tells me that the bill is not ambitious enough. And that's one of the things that we need to take into consideration in terms of how do we take these points, and I'm sure you're going to get more as you travel around the country, to actually strengthen the climate bill, to make it a point that it is ambitious enough and it meets the targets that we have committed to as a country, in terms of all the climate change targets that we, including your Paris Agreement, etc., and including what is going to be escalated to become, when we review our NDC, what's going to go into the NDC. So there must be that clear alignment, starting from this bill going to all the commitments that we are making.
Uma sesibheka kulo mthetho sivivinywa uma sesibhekelela lezo zilinganiso noma ke izimpokophelo zethu ukuthi ke kufanele sibhekelele kakhulu udaba lokunamathela kuleyo mithetho njengoba ke ibhaliwe kanti ke futhi okunye okubalulekile ukuthi ke kufanele ukuthi silekelele kakhulu ukusimamisa lo mthetho ukuthi siuqinise ikakhulukazi uma ke sokukhona labo abawenqile umthetho ukuthi ke kube khona ukuhlawuliswa nokuthi kufanele ukuthi ke sibhekelele ngaso sonke isikhathi lezo zinto esiziphokophele maqondana nokugwema kushintsha kwesimo sezulu. Ngicabanga ukuthi kufanele ukuthi siqinisekise ke ukuthi sizibandakanya noma sinamanziwe iParis Convention ngoba ngiyacabanga ukuthi yiyo engakwazi ukuthi isenze ukuthi ke sibe nempumelelo kulomkhankaso.
And finally, Chair, just to correct you on something, I think it was the councillor who was actually making a few points. I think the committee, the parliamentary committee should really understand how environment is linked to energy issues. So don't separate that, because we are in an environmental crisis mainly it's because of energy issues. The way that we generate energy. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is that, and I'm glad that it was also mentioned, that this committee should be consulting as wide as as possible, to also include the Department of Energy. And unfortunately, which is a reality, some of you may call it politics, we have an energy minister that is actually gone rogue when it comes to addressing climate change. And I think there's a strong reason why this committee should be holding, including the DFFE, but also DMRE, in terms of what commitments they are bringing to the table to ensure that what we're talking about that relates to climate change is actually addressed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okugcina bengithanda nje ukuthi ngenze isilungiso kafushane la ukhansela kukhona ke iphuzu alikhulumile kanti besithanda nje ukuthi sigcizelele kakhulu indaba yokuxhumana nokubonisana nemiphakathi ngoba kuyinto ebaluleke kakhulu futhi bengithanda ukuthi leli parliament noma leli committee le parliament ukuthi lizwisise kahle ukuthi izibaseli zihambelana kanjani nezemvelo ngoba ke kubalulekile kakhulu ukuthi kube khona ukuhambelana nokusimama ukuthi ke sinqande ukuthi kube khona isimo esibucayi ngakho ke yikho noma ngibona kubaluleke kakhulu ukuthi siqinise le ndaba noma simamise udaba lokubonisana nemiphakathi kanye nokusebenzisana kweminyango ehlukile kufana ke nomnyango wezibaseli njengoba khona manje siyabona ukuthi ke kukhona sinongqongqoshe ukuthi kubonakala ngathi akazwisisi kahle ukuthi umthelela ubanjani emphakathini ingakho ke ngithi ngicela nje ukuthi sibukisise lawo maphuzu.
Thank you. I think I will have to clarify that point. We know as this department what is our role and the responsibilities. Hence, I said we are noting that some of the things that were raised are based on Department of Energy. We are not disputing that it is all of our responsibility, all of us. But there are some certain things that needs to be dealt with by the Department of Energy. We are noting that. Thank you.
Ithi ngicacise nje ukuthi yebo siyakuzwa unembile kulelo phuzu engikushoyo nje ukuthi thina njengokomiti sikuphawulile lokho siyazi ukuthi kufanele ukuthi sisebenzisane njengoba ngishilo ngaphambilini ukuthi kukhona ke ezinye izindaba ukuthi zibhekene nomnyango wezibaseli ingakho ke sithi siyawathatha wonke lawo maphuzu siwabhalile sizowandlulisela kuloyo mnyango siyazi ukuthi ezinye izinto aziqondananga nalomnyango lo siuqaphayo thina njengekomiti ebhekelele ezemvelo kodwa ke siyabonga ngoba sikuthathile lokho sibhale phansi futhi sizokudlulisela phambili.
And in actual fact, climate change, it affects all the departments. Hence, as this department, we work with all departments.
Okunye futhi ukuguquguquka kwesimo sezulu sithinta yonke iminyango ingakho thina njengale committee elibhekelele ezemvelo emahlathi nezokudoba sisebenzisana nayo yonke iminyango.
I have one request before you, Mama, with due respect. When I took hands, I said, first hands, ne? The person who spoke in the first group cannot speak again. If one has some issues to raise, I would request that Puti with a white cap, you do your additions because you have already spoken in the first group. Puti with a white cap, the one that I've noted as the last person, I would request that you do your other submissions in a written form. You are not going to be given a chance to speak again because I have given you a chance to speak when I took the first round. No, I'm not going to give you, but you have to respect me as the chairperson. Go there to the office to Kileka. She's going to give you a form. You are going to write whatever that you feel that you have missed when you were speaking here. Thank you, ma'am.
Ubecacisa lapho ukuthi ngenkathi siqala siye sayichaza kahle inqubo yethu ukuthi uma umuntu aphakamisa isandla siyambiza ukuthi azwe la esihlalweni ngaphambili bese uyabuza imibuzo yakhe besicela ukuthi abantu bangaziphindi ngoba kukhona nangubhodi lo bekakhuluma ngaye ukuthi uzile ngaphambilini wafika wakhuluma manje siye sachaza ukuthi uma ungaqedanga ukwenza isethulo sakho uwenze isethulo esibhaliwe uye lapha kuma officials weparlament bazokulekelela bakuphi form ukwazi ukuthi ubhale isethulo sakho ngiyabonga.
Greetings, all protocol observed. My name is Nomthandazo Shabangu. I'm a resident of Steve Twete local municipality. I'm also from Seja organization.
Ngiyanibingelela nonke ngibuya kulo masipala we Steve Twete municipality futhi ngimelele inhlangano ekuthiwa yi Msecha. Yeah. My apologies. Ngibuya kule nhlangano bathi Msecha.
Okay, firstly, I would like to applaud the organization or the committee. As you've mentioned, Chair, this is the first time of this bill. I think it was long overdue.
Okokuqala ngithanda ukuthi ngincome ikomiti kakhulu ngokuthi beze bahlale lo mhlangano baqale la kulesifundazwe sethu siyabonga kakhulu ngalokho ngoba sokushiwe isikhathi ngabe kudala kwenzeka lokho.
Is me by saying that I'm going to support one of the things or many things that the community at large faces.
Ngikusho lokho ngoba ngize la ukuthi ngizosekela izindaba ikomiti ikhuluma ngazo noma ikomiti izinselelo ikomiti ibhekane nazo.
There was a colleague here who mentioned the health and the death of the community of Steve Twete.
Kukhona oye wakhuluma ngezempilo zabantu bala noma nokushona kwabantu bala Steve Twete.
I can say that I'm affected by that because I've recently lost my sister due to the pollution or due to the emission.
Nami ngiyathinteka kulokho ngoba sesiye sashiwa usisi wami ngendaba yona le yokusabalaliswa kwale moya engcolile enobuthi.
I feel as if the Bill of Rights is not specific due to the miners or due to the business people who are making money in our province.
Futhi ngasho nje ngithi uhlu lwamalungelo oluntu aluqondile kahle alinembile uma sesikhuluma ke ngalezi ndaba ke zezimayini kanye kulokho akunembile kahle.
Because surely someone has to be held accountable, explore other provinces or maybe to stay in other provinces. I was staying in Gauteng maybe for the past 12 years. I've recently relocated back here home and I can tell you there's difference.
Okunye futhi le mithetho ngoba ke kufanele ukuthi ke abantu baziphendulele noma lezo zinkampani ziphendule ngomonakalo odalekile. Mina ngasho nje ukuthi ngiye ngahlala kuzifundazwe ezihlukahlukene bengihlala le eGauteng iminyaka e12 akusikudala ke mina ngibuyile la ekhaya. Engakusho esengukubonile ukuthi ukukhona umehluko phakathi kwalezi zifundazwe.
Yes, by saying that, I can say we at Mpumalanga, it's home of coal. Everyone knows that here in Mpumalanga we are rich with coal and we understand that the coal is the main factor or it's another factor that causes the emission.
Futhi okunye engakusho ukuthi siyazi ukuthi lesifundazwe sethu sicebe kakhulu ngezamalahle okunye ukuthi noma ize sicebe kangaka ngamalahle siyazi ukuthi nayo imbangela ngokusabalaliswa kwale moya engcolile enobuthi.
But it's so unfortunate that we face the most load shedding in the country.
Kodwa kuyilishwa ukuthi ke thina yithi ke la kulesifundazwe sethu la kunocimicimi kundlula zonke izifundazwe kulelizwe lethu.
And it affects our livelihood. And I would like to say more people or most people who are here mentioned the things that affect us as community at large. But I would like to make an incident that recently occurred in my house. Just please give me a moment. I stay with my mom and my gran. My gran, she's 93, my mom is 73. On the 1st of January, I think everyone can attest to that, there was a storm in Middleburg or in Mpumalanga, if maybe it happened in Mpumalanga, but in Middleburg, there was a storm, and unfortunately, there was the water got into my house, and when I called my counselor, he just said to me, I'm also experiencing the same thing, so I cannot help you. So can you please, there at the top, maybe try to get channels that maybe we can call or maybe we can run to if such things happen. I didn't blame him, though I was furious. At the same time, I was like, okay, Nomthandazo, just calm down, because he's also a resident in my area. So if I'm experiencing what he's experiencing, what was he supposed to do? So I'm asking, actually, I'm pleading with you, Guti, please find a door maybe where we can report such incidents so that we can get assistance, maybe quicker, because the damage was there and compensation, dololo. Just get maybe channels where we can report the incidents and maybe find things that can prevent such things. Most young people like me from the community, they don't know about global warming. You can sit next to someone and maybe not ask them, did you know about global warming? And they don't know about global warming. And this thing is affecting us. So can you please, not only maybe online, because I believe that most people struggle with data. I live with people who are complaining every day that data is expensive. Maybe we can find some things that can make our lives easier. Maybe get free access to data so that everyone can be informed and can be aware on what is happening and what is this thing. And it's really affecting us. Because even the water, you won't drink the water that's coming from our taps. You can take the water, after 2 days, maybe pour it in a bucket, after 2 days, go there. It's brown purple. I don't think anyone can eat that and be healthy. And another thing, the water, we don't have water. It's challenging. We go for about 4 days without water. So it's really affecting us, it's really affecting our livelihood. And most of us, like I've mentioned before, stay with elderly people. And you have to make sure they drink their meds, they eat healthy. So how are we supposed to eat healthy if we eat this kind of water? So there are many issues, though most of the people who are here mention on that, and I think I'm taking time now, but there are more issues that are affecting us as a community, and I guess it's high time now you take people from the ground so that we can gel, maybe we can intertwine and work with the people nationally and provincially. Thank you.
This is Nomthandazo, and let me apologize for the response that you received from the public representative. We are public reps also. I mean, there is definitely a disaster department in that municipality. Let me just apologize for that.
Bengithi ngixolise kuwe mama ngempendulo uyithole ku councilor ngenkathi uthi ufuna usizo nathi ke njengokahle lokho kodwa ke bengithanda nje ukuthi kufanele ukuthi sikubukisise ukuthi uma ilungu lomphakathi linenkinga njengabaholi sikwazi ukuthi singenelele silekelele la sikwazi khona yilokho nje bengithanda ukukuchaza umama lobeka la uthi mase ngifinqa nje kancane ukhulume ngokuthi abantu abaningi abakhulume la bakhulume ngomthelela obakhona emphakathini ngalesi simo sokuguquguquka kwezulu kanti nami ngiyathinteka ngqo kulokhu ngoba uma ngenza nje isibonelo ngihlala nabazali bami umama nogogo gogo 93 umama una 73 ngelinye ilanga ke kuye kwaba nenkinga ngenkathi ke kukhona izikhukhula la endaweni ngaleso sikhathi ke njengoba noma kuye kwagcwala amanzi kakhulu endlini kulapho kukhansela mangifika kukhansela ukhansela naye ungitshela ukuthi nami nginenkinga efana naleyo akakwazanga ke ukuthi angilekelele kulokho nohulumeni kube khona indawo noma ama channel lapho singaya khona uma sinezinkinga ezifana nalezi ukuze sikwazi ukuthi sithole usizo ngokuphuthumayo ngoba okwamanje isimo ngendlela singakhona mayibe ukuthi sithinta nabaholi bethu endaweni bangazi ukuthi ke basilekelele kanjani kusho khona ukuthi ke kuyinkinga enkulu angikukhulumi lokhu ngoba ngimgxeka loyo councilor ngoba ngiyazwisisa ukuthi naye uyilungu lomphakathi naye ubhekene naso leso simo esibhekene naso emphakathini ingakho nje ngicela kakhulu ukuthi kubhekisiswe lokho okunye futhi ukuthi ngizinhlelo zokucwashisa ikakhulukazi ke ngalolu daba lokuguquguquka kwesimo sezulu ngoba ngokowami umbono intsha eningi ayinalo ulwazi olwanele maqondana nalokhu nokuthi kuthinta kanjani imphakathi babona nje kuphela le mithelela uma ke seyifinyelele emphakathi. Bengicela ukuthi noma ke esikhathini esiningi manje sokusetshenziswa ubuchwepheshe online uma ufuna usizo noma ufuna imininingwane ethile, kanti ke udata uyabiza kakhulu. Esikhathini esiningi uthola ukuthi abantu abakwazi ukuthi bakhokhele lo data, ingakho ke uthola ukuthi abakwazi ukuthi bathole ulwazi oluqondile maqondana nalezo zimo. Bengicela nje ukuthi uhulumeni angenelele lapho mhlambe kube khona uhlelo lokuthi ke aphakele udata mahala ukuthi abantu bakwazi ukuthi bathole imininingwane maqondana nalezi zinhlelo. Okunye futhi ke uma sengiphothula indaba yamanzi ukuthi hey amanzi la ekhaya akuwona amanzi ahlanzekile ngoba mangawathela lapha ebhakethini wabeka lapha ngemva nje kwezinsuku ezimbalwa uthola lawo manzi sekangcolile. Kanti lokho kuyasikhinyabeza kakhulu emphakathini ngoba sihlala nabantu abadala ufanele ukuthi sinakekele impilo yabo badle kahle imisoco baphuza amanzi into ezifana nalezo. Manje uma ke sesingasanawo amanzi ahlanzekile kuba yinkinga, nakhona kuba inhlanhla nje ukuthi sibe nalawo manzi ngoba esikhathini esiningi amanzi awekho. Enye ke yezinkinga esibhekene nazo emphakathini. Bengicela ke ukuthi ihulumeni babukisise lezo zinselelo esibhekene nazo emphakathini. Ngiyabonga.
Ungazisho baba ukuthi ubani and then uqale ukhulume imizuzu yakho i5.
Okay. Most High Jah Rastafari. Selassie. Okay. Gingu Somchongweni William Mahlangu. Kibuya Dr. J.S. Moroka.
I am Somchongweni William Mahlangu. I'm from Dr. J.S. Moroka.
Ngiyathokoza igalelo lokuthi uhulumende asikimele indaba yokusilaphazeka kwebhoduluko.
I'm very thankful for the step that the government has done around climate change.
Ibhoduluko lisilaphazeke ukuthoma kude khulukhulu. Engingakuveza ukuthi kiyo yonke into esiyenzako nesingiyo sifanele sibe nesimemo simeme usomnini.
Okay. Environmental pollution starts far way back. All that we need to do is to, whatever we do, we invite the Almighty.
Uyeke osivula imqondo namhlanje sisibona sihlangene nje sokukhulumisana ngokusilaphazeka kwebhoduluko.
He's the one who grants us wisdom as we are gathered today to discuss the issues of environmental pollution.
Ngikhumbula eminyakeni edluleko before 2010 sakhe saba ne workshop esasilethelwa makhuwa abuya eZimbabwe.
Just before 2010, we once had a workshop that was conducted by a white community from Zimbabwe.
Babe sitshela ngayo ibhoduluko le ukusilaphazeka kwayo ukuthi kubanga izulu lingasani ngokwefanelo nenjalo si dipendekizo zinyamalale.
They were telling us about this climate change and environmental pollution, and that it affects even the rainfall patterns as well as it affects crops, that they start to disappear.
Lethu izokuba yide. Mara ke bengithanda ukuthi ngibe mfishane ngokuyiphawula. Kuthome ngokungalingalingani komuntu, isithunzi somuntu nasilahlekako noma umuntu nakawele sonweni bekukuthoma kokusilaphazeka kwephasi.
Yeah, we have a long way to go, but I will summarize by saying when men fell into sin, that's where all problems started.
Ukungalingali kwaletha umhlaba ohlukahlukeneyo.
Inequality among a world of inequality.
Kwalahlekisa ubunye bethu.
Our unity was lost.
So ukusilaphazeka kwebhoduluko kuzokurarululwa nangani ukuthi isitshalo esiyimvelo esifana nesango naso sineqhaza elikhulu ekusilaphazekeni ukuthi ibhoduluko lihlanzeke.
In trying to mitigate environmental pollution, we have to consider crops like dagga, that it can contribute towards the cleaning of the environment.
Ngoba yona mawuyishisako intuthu yakhona iyakulumaka iyahlwengisa.
When you burn dagga, its smoke cleanses the environment or the atmosphere.
Ene kungiyo nje iyakhona nokwenza noma zintina zokwakha ukuthi iphasi lethu nalizokuba namanzi amaningi ubusoft balo intina lezi zehlabathi zibabudisi then kudala ukuthi iphasi libe nokuzamazama nokudilika. Kanti ke isango le ingakwazi ukwenza intina ezibulula zokuthi sikhone ukuzifuthumeza ngaphakathi kwayo.
It can, dagga can also be used when you build bricks. Yeah. It can be used also when you build bricks vis-a-vis the mud bricks that were built in the past, because it creates softer bricks that can, it uses brick, let me call us Okay, mud bricks are normally heavy, but when you use dagga to make bricks, you get bricks that are lighter in weight.
True. So, kubaluleke khulu ukuthi isinqe nayo isango ingasabekelwa imithetho ayinabo ubungozi noma singayibhema bujulweni.
There must be consideration around compensation, because dagga is not dangerous in any way. It doesn't matter how you smoke it.
Ubaba wethu wasikhuthaza ukuthi iphasi lizokuthola ukunzinza nokuthula lokhana amehlwethu azokuvumbuluka sazi ukuthi singazuza ebuzweni bunye.
Our father encouraged us that our world will succeed if we live in the world of unity.
Well, ngizokuthanda ukuba mfishane.
I conclude.
Nkosi Baba Mahlangu, before you leave, you've raised very interesting points.
Uveza amaphuzu
We have a
aqhakatheke
scientist here.
kakhulu.
We have a scientist here. I just want to ask him one question. This dagga, when you make it a brick, you mix it and
Uyihlanganisa njani isango lena wakha isitina Mndungu?
Bazikhona izazi kufanele kwenziwe imfundo.
There are experts around here. Research must be made, done around
It's
that.
very interesting. So, thank you so much, Dr. Mahlangu. Thank you. It's very interesting.
Greetings.
Molo, molo.
Is Uzakele Tubazane, Ngibuya Esiabuswa under the Dr. J.S. Muroka municipality. I fall under the Ward 4. I'm also like a chairperson of Isiabuswa Arts and Lifestyle. Tubazane.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes, I'm also a chairperson of Isiabuswa Arts and Lifestyle Foundation. Okay. So, I just only have 5 points. I'm also like gonna be a bit short. I have a problem with this bill because I feel like it should be a greenhouse bill instead of a climate change bill, because I feel that it's too narrow. It only not only, but it emphasizes on greenhouse emissions, and it kind of makes it like it's only greenhouse gases that causes climate change.
Jwale re nna ke na le bothata ka molaokakanywa o ka ge e le gore gabotse o lebeletse kudu mo tabeng tša di meši eo e leng gore ke eo e leng gore gabotse e lwantšhana le bokotsi ba lema mola e le gore gabotse ke be ke mabapi le phetogo ya leratadimo.
For example, when we talk about climate change, we talk about pollution, right? And you and me are causing pollution from the car you drive, from the lipstick you wear, from the food you eat, from everything you know. So I feel that the backbone of Mpumalanga is mining.
Jwale ge tšhilafatšo ya leratadima e baka ke difatanaga tšeo re di otlelago meši eo re bakang goba jwalo ge ntse re tšhuma ditlakala ka ona mokgwa o. Jwale ge ke bona e ka re gabotse molaokakanywa o gabotsebotse o tloga o lebeletse rena jwalo ka Mpumalanga ka ge e le gore Mpumalanga ke province eo e leng gore e tloga e thekgile kudu godimo ga tša meepo.
So for me also, like another department, I think that should be taking a lead also in climate change, it's the agriculture, it's the agriculture industry, because we all know that climate change is not only about, only caused by greenhouse gases, it's what we consume as consumers. Do you understand? So I feel like this bill lacks self-awareness in a sense that we always treat climate change as it's someone else's fault. It's the company's fault. The mining industries are thriving because we want electricity. We want all these things that make life comfortable for us. Do you understand?
Okay, jwale ge tše dintše swanetšeng re tloge re diela šedi kudu ke tše tša temo ka ge e le gore le tšona ke tšeo e leng gore gabotse di aba dijo tšeo e leng gore re iphepa ka tšona.
So that's why for me, I think my contribution is looking at maybe try to decentralize the bill. Because in Mpumalanga, it's not the same as the Western Cape or Gauteng and all of those things. The air pollution in Gauteng is not from mines or anything, it's from cars and all the economic activity that is happening there, you understand? So when you start targeting greenhouse gases and you start targeting only mining companies, then you meaning that the people in Gauteng who's driving their fancy cars that are polluting the air and all of that, they get to get away with a whole lot. You understand? So for me, I feel that this bill is not holistic. If ever we're gonna hold everyone accountable, let everyone at least, be held accountable, not only the people that emit greenhouse gases, because those greenhouse gases, they are actually benefiting us, like our lives every day.
Ke bona gore molaokakanywa o swanetše ebe o e leng gore o tloga o lebelela mahlakore ka moka o se ke wa lebelela fela mafelo ao e leng gore a na le meepo ka lebaka la gore difatanaga le tšona di ntšha meši jwale Mpumalanga ga e swane le di-province tše dingwe tša go swana le Western Cape ka lebaka la gore fano go na le meepo jwale ge e le gore go tlo lebellwa meepo fela go ra gore di-province tša go swana le Gauteng tšona di ka seke tša tloga di elwa šedi mola e le gore difatanaga tšeo ba di otlelago le tšona di ntšha meši jwale ke nagana gore molaokakanywa o swanetše o akaretše.
Finally, I think to encourage people to, I guess, go green or care more about the environment, maybe try look at tax incentives instead of penalties. In a sense, look at the plastic industry. When was years ago when we started paying for plastic, the whole idea was to curb plastic because it was polluting the environment. But it seems like we're not winning that war. Do you understand? So we need to look at that. Maybe we need to incentivize sometimes people to go green and to also look after the environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Go rotloetša batho gore ba tloge ba hlokomela tikologo mohlomong o swanetše go bane le setsekanyana seo e leng gore ba fela ba phumulwa diatla ka sona gomme ka tsela yeo seo se tloga se rotloetša batho gore ba bane le tlhokomelo godimo ga tikologo yeo ba phelago go yona go swana le ge go tla go tlišwa taba e ya go hlokomediša batho mabapi le di-plastic go ile go bana le ka mokgwa o e leng gore go dirwa ka gona gore batho ba kgone go ka kgothaletswa gore ba kgone go ka hlokomela tikologo ya bona.
Mandibulele kuButsakela kodwa ke mayanga simoshi le bill there's also mines in Gauteng if you did not know Butsakela and also this bill covers all the provinces. There is no particular province that is targeted. I want to correct that.
Ke phošolloše seo o se boletšego wena buti Zakhele, ge e le gore mohlomongwe o be o sa tsebe le Gauteng go na le mebaene. Jwale ge molaokakanywa o tloga o tsenyeletša mafelo ka moka ga gona province e itšeng yeo e leng gore gabotse go lebelletšwe yona fela.
Sanibonani, igama nguSiboniso Sibonga Shabangu, ngiphuma eMalahleni, ngapha ngase eWheatbank endaweni ebizwa ngokuthi eGhanala, esayidini yaseThubelihle. Yebo.
I'm from, your name?
Siboniso Shabangu.
My name is Boniso Shabango. I'm from Wheatbank, at an area called
Ghanala.
Ghanala. Ngiyathokoza.
Yeah. So saying that, la ngihlala khona, we are surrounded by closely 30 plus mines nearby.
Sinamamayini angafika kamachumi amathathu nangilinganisayo lapha ngihlala khona.
And then ukuthola umlayezo esinawo today, it was very difficult because we have to source it from lapha eWheatbank.
Kube budisi ukufumana isimemo salomhlangano namhlanje ke kwafanele ukuthi siuthole ndawana ngeWheatbank.
Yes, so there, siyabonga ukuthi we are part and parcel of this. Then,
Ngiyathokoza ukuthi siyingcenye yalokho kwenzekako namhlanje.
but ke engikulethile ngaphambi kwethu is that I feel like abantu abakhona la ndlini, a majority yakhona are from a certain organizations.
Kukhona into ngitshela ukuthi ngendlini le njengoba lokho sihlangeneko iningi labantu abalapha bavele ehlanganweni ethile.
Taking from the people while they're expressing themselves or saying the points, they are well prepared to what they are saying.
Nawuqala indlela abazethula ngayo izethulo zabo kuyatsho ukuthi bebazilungiselele.
So, but there are individual people that's coming from the community whereby they don't even understand what's going on within the house.
Kukhona isiqhema sabantu somphakathi esingazi litho nesingalemuki nakancane ukuthi kukhulunywa ngani lapha.
Meaningly, if this program was started by giving maybe community leaders to teach people ukuthi kuzoba ne organization thizeni ezosifundisa nge-climate change, and then before iza la kube abantu seba ready, and then it was going to be easy ukuthi abantu bakhona attend.
We would have appreciated that if there was a team that was sent prior to this meeting today so that it can conscientize the community ngalokho okuzokwenziwa lapha namhlanje.
Yes, so kunesicelo ukuthi ke while already the process has started, please bring back the information or the teachings to the community whereby abantu bazi ukuthi kwenzakalani and babe namavo, because ukube size by being dedicated to ngama community, it was going to be easy because khuluma the voice of the community, people who are getting affected day in and day out.
There is a humble request.
Yokuthi sicela ukuthi ke while the process iqhubeka akube nama teachings that takes place within the community.
Okay. That njengalokho umsebenzi losowuthomile oraga nokho akube namahlelo wokufundisa umphakathi ngalokho kwenzakalako.
And kule bill njengoba abantu ngathi banokunya bakugcikayo la phakathi, it was going to be also easy because they were saying things that coming direct kumuntu othi mina ngindlulela, just like one of the members eshilo ukuthi mina personal I was affected. Maso ihlanganisa le information, it says as a South African community seat.
It makes things easier if people speak from experience, like the previous speaker who spoke about personal disaster that they personally experienced. It was going to make things easier for people to speak from what they understand and know.
Yeah, in short, besisacela or bengisacela ukuthi ke si recognize labantu labo abanganayo access ukuthi bangene kulezi indlu lezi noma abakhona ukuthi ba communicate maybe with the councillors or the community leaders lawa asuke ekhona ukuthi nabo babe novo kulento le, because manje sikhuluma thina because we get a chance ukuthi singene kule ndlu le sikhulume, but abantu abayitholi ithuba lokuthi bazi express nabo bafaka uvo lwabo la.
We also humbly express that the honorable members can target people who cannot easily gain access to attend such meetings so that their input can also be listened to and registered.
And then lastly, besisacela ukwazi nisifundise ngazo zonke izinto ezitshintsha umoya ukuthi zi-affecta kanjani, because mina I know this but my brothers back then abazi, but bahlala ngaphansi kwale environment le affected and basebenza kiwo lama companies mara they are not sure ukuthi yini into enze ukuthi bagcine ukuthi babe affected kulezi zinto lezo. So besisacela those classes adila ngama climate changes and everything aye kuma communities so that when we speak about an understanding.
We request that these teachings must reach communities. I personally know about climate change and atmospheric pollution, but we have brothers and sisters who work even in those industries and know nothing about this, and they are continually affected by climate change.
Thank you, Putisboni. So we are noting the issue of public hearings that you need a continuation, yes, through the office of the local speakers, who will be assisted by the MEC. Participate, babize meetings. It will assist us, and we will do that via the speaker's office from local municipalities or district municipalities.
Siyakutshela kakhulu lokho, siyathokoza ngesithukumiso osivezako. Sizokulandelela ngokusizwa iofisi kaSomkhandlu nabosomlomo babomasipala ukuya esifundeni njalo ukuze kube nendlela yokutsheja nokusiza umphakathi.
Yes, because the reason why we are mentioning the speaker's office, it is the one that is dealing with public participation.
Sikhuluma ngama ofisi wabosomlomo ngoba ngiwo athindene khulu namajima wokuzibandakanya kwemiphakathi.
I'm going to request Ukhosi to give us their input. NgokwakwaXhosa ke asibingeleli thina bomama. Inkosi kubikela lokho.
Ngizokubawa uNdabezitha ukuthi aveze lakhe lobodlana ngekambiso yekhethu aboma abamlotshisi uNdabezitha. Ndabezitha. Greetings.
Sanmonani. Oqala ngizozama ukuthi ngilungise angiyena uNdabezitha.
Just a correction, I'm not Khosi.
Ngisebenza ngamakhosi.
I work with the House of Traditional Leaders.
And then I'm coordinating imisebenzi efanele iyenzwa amakhosi emphakathini.
And I coordinate community-related matters that affect the House of Traditional Leaders.
Kufana noku oversights for all the departments.
Njengokutshejisisa okwenziwa eminyangweni ehlukahlukeneko.
Nabomasipala ngokulandelana kwabo.
And municipalities as such.
Igama ngingu Michael Lokabengu.
I am Michael Bengu.
From the House of Traditional Leaders.
Endlini yabaholi bezendabuko.
Provincial and local House of Kangala.
Esigabeni esifundeni kunye nasenkangala.
Ngibonge kulokho. Man kubabhlungu ukukhuluma ekugcineni ngoba amaphuzu amaningi othuza nawo. Mawuthi ngisaphethe leli avele omunye aliphose phezulu. Manje ngizozama ukusho ukuthi no angeke ngisaphinda into abafethu bese beyikhulumile abantwana benkosi.
It's always difficult to speak last because most of the points that one has prepared, you find that other people have made input on them.
Kodwa ke ngizogcizelela ekuthenini ukuthi ngizwe ama-colleague la akhuluma ngephuzu elithi imithetho eqiniselela ukuthi abantu abapholuta umoya bafanele no bajeziswe. Lelo phuzu lona ngiyagcizelela nami ngithi alisebenze.
I emphasize strongly that emitters must be taken to task. I also am for that point.
Ngibuye ngicele kubomasipala bethu ukuthi abomasipala bethu le bill ngaphambi ukuthi benganene ngabomasipala ngabe ifoundation yale bill bebese bayicalile ngokwenzani ngokuqinisela ukuthi ama bylaws are within bomasipala aya implementwa.
Actually, even before this bill reaches this stage, it should have started at municipal level and make sure that municipal bylaws speak to these environmental changes.
Ngoba leli phuzu lisukaphi? Siyaye si enza ama oversight bumasipala just to affect ukuthi kwenza sure ukuthi ngempela lento esizibona ngaphandle endaweni zamakhosi.
We sometimes conduct oversight around municipalities from the angle of serving traditional leaders, and there are things that we observe.
Yes, ngoba kunokwenzeka ukuthi kunama illegal invaders within ama urban areas and even kuma rural areas, and then you find that lama invaders are invader in such a way that bahlala nabo phezu kwepipe lamanzi, phezu kwepipe le storage, and kanganga ukuthi ekugcineni amanzi achithekela ngaphandle, insila yonke ivele ngaphandle.
Sometimes we observe that there are people who invade land, and as they invade land, they set up their structures on wrong places, like on top of pipes. Sometimes the pipes will burst, and you find that sewer is now flowing all over the place.
Ukuthi lo msebenzi ubofanele wenze umasipala kube umthetho ukuthi abantu abangena endaweni bangakayinikwa ngoba ubukhosi bunayo isivumelwano esibenze nomasipala nesalga ukuthi whatever indawo efanele isetshenziswe umphakathi inkosi izosho ukuthi ngikhulelwe ingane njengomasipala njengasazwana hamba uyobheka le ndawo ukuthi ngabe ilungele ukuthi abantu bangahlala phezulu kwayo na. Kuyafana nangaphakathi kwama urban areas umasipala afana aqhunyiswe ukuthi no siyongenisa abantu lapha hayi abantu bazingenele endaweni umasipala afana reserve indawo efanele zithuthukisa abantu ukuthi mangabe indawo incane sayakha kuphi khona kuleyo ndawo ikulungele ukuthi ngahlala abantu na ngoba kwesikhathi ufaka abantu endaweni engaphansi kwayo kunemine and amahasi lapho mangaphansi kwemine mangene emphakathini laba icala kabani icala kamasipala licala la government ukuthi ufake kanjani abantu endaweni engasiyona.
Actually, land invasion should be strongly discouraged because there should be coordination always between the House of traditional leaders and the municipalities. Sometimes people invade land and you find that they stay at a place where it was a mine, and you find that there are gases that emit from the ground, and that will affect the livelihood and the health of people, and the person who will take blame for that will be the municipality.
And the government too.
And the government, nohulumende ngokunjalo.
Manje besithi thina kuhle khona le bill siyayisupport njengobukhosi. Inhle yona ngoba izophephisa ingane zethu, iyophephisa nemphakathi. Ngoba njengamanje mangathi yabheka sinabantu abaningi njoba shilusisa ukuthi akekho accountable ukuthi ma umuntu akade aphethe tuberculosis ekhoswe imine ngale mimoya emibi ubani ufana thathe responsibility ukuthi lo muntu oya compensate.
As traditional leadership, we fully support this bill. But as one of the speakers said, sometimes it becomes difficult when it comes to issues of accountability. In case a person is attacked by tuberculosis, and who must take responsibility for that?
Yes. Manje kuhle khona ukuthi le bill le njoba sisho ukuthi imithetho yayo ayiqine kanganga ukuthi uma ubona umuntu enza into embi. Or for example, njengalabantu abacollecta amathaya, kunendawo uma uya ngaseverini. Kuyacollecta amathaya every year. Abekwe lapho. Kuzothi ngesikhathi esithize bese ayashiswa, uzibuza le ntuthu le iyaphi.
There should be very strong laws against such tendencies. For example, there's an area around Verena where people collect tires during the course of the year, and at a certain period, they then burn them. You ask yourself, what happens to the smoke that emits from the burning of those tires?
No, ngalokho ngiyabonga.
Thank you very much.
Siyabonga kakhulu Tatu Shabangu. Oh, Babu Tatu Pengu mandixolisa. I am going to give MEC Ushiba to respond to some of the questions that were raised, and also she will be followed by Mr. Amaru. Then we will. Oh, I thought that you were representing all of them.
Oh, bengicabanga bonyana
Mandixolise
bowujamele
kakhulu,
ukhosi.
mandixolise kakhulu.
Chebe isandla phezu kwesinye.
ngithokoze chairperson.
Thank you very much,
Sihlalo
Chairperson.
ithuba ongipha lona. Angithome ngilochise wonke amalunga wesibethamthetho esiphezulu.
I would like to thank all the members of executive.
Ngilochise uMEC.
I greet
Councillor khona.
the councillors,
Khoshiaka Ndabezitha.
leaders.
Ekihloniphang haholo.
I respect you a lot.
Ngilochise nonke bantwana beNkosi.
I greet you all, dear people.
Ngingakhohlwa balingani bami Papa Charlie
Colleagues,
ya ngama madoda engibereka nawo ngamalanga lawo.
those are the people whom I'm working with almost every day.
Yeah. Okwami program che ubaba uBhengu khona bese kakuvezile. Nethi mhlambe kunephuzo alichileko engicabanga ukuthi kuyafuneka ukuthi sil emphasize. Angu oceda ukusuka la ukhuluma siyabawa ukuthi njengoba sihlalo bese uchilo ukuthi unikele i-guideline lokuthi i-participation must not stop here. It must continue from the level of the MEC, mayors, as well as the office of the speaker. They are the ones who must drive the whole process, the consultation. So siyabawa ukuthi lokho kwenzeke. Ngoba nakungenzekiko le bill akusingethu thina sihleli la. Ngiyamalunga nofana ngesitshaba se-South Africa sonke. So tina we are just a drop in an ocean. You know ukuthi sithi umthetho lo ubambe isitshaba sonke singabi nelizwi.
Okay. Yes, in short, he says that Mr. Banquet has said almost everything, but what is most important is that even after or when we are busy with this law, I mean this bill, the campaign or the education about this law must continue. That's what is important.
Okugcina nawuqala kumthethomlingwa lo the last paragraph ku page 28 ama state law advisors athi akunasidingo sokuthi mhlambe amalunga wesibethamthetho angaconsulta amakhosi kulomthetho. Yes, they are learned, but I want to say to them they are wrong. They've got it wrong. Traditional institution ikona isesichabeni ibereka nesicaba. So ngiyabawa ukuthi let's disregard I paragraph le uMEC initiate a process yokuthi amakhosi aconsultwe kuhle aworkshopwe kuhle so that nabo they can be informed njengabantwana beNkosi engibabonako la abenza ama inputs. Ngiyathokoza.
Lastly, is just that last paragraph whereby the traditional leaders are not involved there. So all what we need, because they are also the member.
Ingxaki inye nje khange silibambe igama uba utata ngubani. Ulibele uzichaze.
Undabezitha unkosi SS Mahlangu wenzunza Mabusa ngase abuya be chairperson yendlu yamakhosi eNkangala local house.
Siyabulela tata. Andikho sure ke noba utata uChane uzawuthetha na. You are covered. Siyabulela Khosi.
Thank you very much, Khoshi.
Ndicela wena ke MEC to respond.
I would like the MEC to respond.
Thank you very much, Acting Chairperson, Honorable Gancho.
Ngithokoze kwamambala mjuphethe kasihlalo umhlonishwa uGanjo.
Let me greet you and also to greet honorable members
Angilochise wena bengilochise namanye amalunga ahloniphekileko
of the Portfolio Committee
wekomiti emsebenzile
and also to greet Bondabezitha.
bese ngilotshise nabondaba ezitha
and to greet stakeholders that are present here,
ngilotshise bonke kabasebenzisani abakhona lapha
nomphakathi wonke.
nomphakathi wonke, even all the communities.
Yes, no, mine will be short and to the point.
Kwami ke kuncazanyana and ngizokuhlala phezu kwephuzu poro.
Let me start by saying that the department and the MEC is empowered by the National Environmental Management Act.
Ngifuna ukutsho ukuthi ke thina ke njenge MEC sihlomisiwe ngokwengqondo ngalo umthetho lo.
To deal with all environmental issues.
Khuluma ke ngazo zonke indaba zebhoduluko.
In short, sibiza ngenema.
Ngokufitshazana ke sibiza ngokuthi yinema.
We are empowered to manage air quality through our ambient air quality stations.
Sihlonyisiwe ukuthi ke silokaze ke sisebenze ke
Ambient air quality stations.
Ambient air quality power stations.
Okay,
Ibiza
ama
njengoba
stations
injalo.
wethu esiwasebenzisela ukuchecka umoya, ukungcoliseka komoya.
Yes, yilama station kasetshenziswa ukuchecka ukuthi umoya lo usilaphazeke bunjani.
We are having air quality stations throughout Mpumalanga.
Sinama station ke wokuchecka ke umoya lapha eMpumalanga.
Last Stiftshuete sinayo next to Engekerk.
Lapha ke Steve Shwete ke sinayo lapha yana eduze ne NG Church.
Malahleni sinayo Greendale Secondary School.
Emalahleni khona lapha Greendale Secondary School.
Victor Kanye sinayo Dale Park Primary School.
Victor Kanye is just there next to Dale Park Secondary School.
Sinayo Gavin Beg, Tabacheu, Ligwa and the Palising.
We are having it at Tabacheu and the
Palising.
The Palising.
Yes, it's other municipalities within Mpumalanga
There are
Province.
municipalities within Mpumalanga.
Why I'm mentioning this air quality station?
Kungani ke ngibala ke lentechi ke zokuchecka ukusilaphazeka komoya.
Because we are having a panel that is responsible for conducting site inspections.
Ngoba ke sine panel ka ekhethweko ukuthi ke ihlolisise ke ngawo lo moya lo.
The fines is determined electronically.
Ilokaze ke isijeziso sisetshenzwa ke ngokuya ke kwe-electronic kuthi ukuthi sisenziwa mchini ngisezokala ukuthi ubethwa kangangani.
Yes, we are using a calculator index approved by the national guidelines.
Kukhona ke umchini ke osetshenziswako okuzoba ngokuthi naweze kangaka uzokuthola isamboko esingaka.
And the fine are issued by the HOD as delegated by the MEC.
Bese ke isijeziso lesikhishwa ke ngu HOD ke njengoba ke anikelwe lelo gunya.
We are also working hand in glove with a private sector.
Sisebenzisana godi ke nenhlangano ke zangeqadi.
I'm raising this because I wanted members to know that as the province, we are also responsible in terms of managing the air quality.
Ngifuna ukuveza lokho ukuthi umphakathi wazi ukuthi thina njengesifunda nathi sinendima esidlalako ekulawuleni ke ukusilaphezeka lokho.
Air quality stations are situated within the communities.
Intechi lezi ke zokuhlolwa komathi emphakathini apha
Cured to protect them against vandalism.
ekile ukuze abantu bangenzini bangazilokazi bangaziphuli bese bazithathele izinto zakhona.
So it means that if there are challenges here and there, it means that we need also to strengthen the work that we are doing as the province.
kusho ukuthi mhlawumbe nangaba khona ke imraro ke engaba khona lapho ke sizokufanele ukuthi sizame ukuthi ke siqinise ukuthi lokhu kube kuqine njenge province.
Yes, Chairperson, I wanted just to reflect on that because most of the community members or stakeholders, they have raised issues based on the air quality control within the province.
Sihlalo ke bengifuna ukuveza lokho ngoba abaningi ke bebaveza ukuthi ke kusetshenzwa njani ke ngokuhlolwa komoya lokhu.
No, thank you very much.
Sithokoze kwamambala.
Okay. Thank you, MEC, and I just spoke to MMC. They are already making follow-ups on the issues that were raised that relate to the municipality. The case of Usisi, Owangenelwa ngamanzi, they are already on it. Thank you, MMC, for just a prompt response. Thank you.
Sithokoze kwamambala ke nje lezi sekuyilandelela bazama ukulungisa ke lemraro le okhwakhulunywa ngisisela ukuthi wakhwamvelela.
And other
nabanye
issues that were raised that relate to the municipality.
nezinye ke into ekade eziveziwe eziphathelene no masipala.
Thank you, Chair, and I think there are quite a number of inputs that have been raised, very rich during the discussions.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu sihlalo ngicabanga ukuthi kuningi kakhulu ukuphonswa esivivaneni kanti ke amaphuzu anqala kakhulu lawo kukhulunywe ngawo.
There was a question around the timelines within the bill which seems not to be clear.
Kube khona umbuzo maqondana nesikhathi sokusebenza kulomthetho sivivinywa obokuyiphuzu elingacacile.
So the approach that the bill took is within 1 year of the bill coming into effect, there are a number of things that will be done, which include the sectoral emission target.
Kanti okukhulunywa noma kukhulunyiwe la kulomthetho sivivinywa ukuthi ke kufanele kwenziwe kungakapheli izinyanga noma kungakapheli unyaka kanti nokuthi ke kubhekelelwe lezo zinto eziphokophelwe ikakhulukazi kuleyo mikhakha ehlukile.
I think that sets a timeline to say within that 1 year, the sectoral emission target have to be allocated to the sectors.
Isikhathi nokuthi ke kulandiswe ukuthi ke leyo mikhakha ilandela imithetho njengoba ibhaliwe.
Again, the bill empowers the minister to develop a detailed regulations in terms of compliance and enforcement of the carbon budget.
Futhi lo mthetho sivivinywa unikeza ungqongqoshe amagunya wokuthi akwazi ukuthi ke akhe umhlahlandlela ngokwemithetho maqondana nazo zonke ke lezo zinselelo ezikhona kanye nokusabalaliswa kwaleyo moya enobungozi.
On the just transition, Chair, I think the Presidential Climate Commission is doing leading work on the series of consultation on the just transition.
Manje ke maqondana naleso simo sokushintsha ukubhekelela umthelelo ukuguquguquka kwesimo sezulu i-Presidential Commission nayo ibhekane naleyo msebenzi ukuthi ke kuba khona ukuqhubekiswa kwalelo phuzu.
Thank you, Chair.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu sihlalo.
Thank you, Mr. Ramaru. There's one thing that the MEC wants to raise, then after that I will give over to Honorable Dlamini to do the closing remarks and way forward.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu kukhona iphuzu elilodwa uMEC uthi ulishiye emuva uthanda nje ukuthi alicacise ngemuva kaloko sizonika umhlonisho uDlamini ukuthi asivalele.
Thank you very much, Acting Chairperson. I wanted to inform the House that I am an appeal authority. If the panel and the HOD have issued a fine for a certain company that transgressed in terms of air quality control, then if they are not satisfied with the amount that they are charging that company, they appeal to me. It's only that one that I wanted to.
Iphuzu bengithanda nje ukuthi ngiliqondise ukuthi mina njengo MEC nginamagunya wokuthi amacala andluliselwe kimi. Uma kwenzeka ke ukuthi uHOD ahlawulise inkampani ezithile bese bona ke bathi abagculisekanga ngalokho, lezo zinkampani noba labo bantu banelungelo lokuthi beze kimi bazondlulisa icala ukuze silibukisise kahle. Yilokho nje bengithanda ukuthi ngikugcizelele.
Thank you, MEC, for giving us some clarities and responses. And I hope now even the House is well aware of what is happening. Thank you very much. And let me thank you because tomorrow you are not going to be with us. Hopefully you will send someone from your office to represent you. Thank you very much, MEC.
Siyabonga kakhulu MEC ngokuthi ucacisele lo phuzu, ngiyathemba ukuthi ke abantu bazozwisisa kahle ke inqubo esetshenziswayo kulezo zimo. Sibonge kakhulu ngoba kusasa uzabungekho nathi, ngoba uzabubhekane neminye imisebenzi, kodwa sibonge kakhulu ngokuthi ube khona nalokho kuphonsa sivivaneni.
Before I hand over to Honorable Dlamini, let me also take this opportunity as the acting chairperson to thank all of you for your valuable inputs and contributions. You opened our eyes in some issues, and we really appreciate everyone who has contributed here. We thank you for being disciplined as well, and I know that we have started later than was expected, but you are still here with us. Thank you very much, and thank you to the team, parliamentary team, and also to my colleagues. Thank you for giving me this big shoes, this big task, and also MEC, thank you, and MMC, thank you very much. Over to, I'm not going to speak again, over to you, Mr. Dlamini.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu ngaphambi kokuthi nginikeze umhlonishwa uDlamini, ngithanda nje ukuthi ngindlulise amazwi okubonga kuwo wonke umuntu okhona la nokubamba iqhaza. Ngibonge nezikhulu MEC no MMC ngokuthi babe khona la. Ngibonge nabasebenzi bethu ngokusisekela. Siyabonga kakhulu nakho konke lokho enikukhulumile niphonse sivivaneni. Sibonga kakhulu ngalokho.
No, thank you, Chair. Ngicela ukubonga kakhulu kumalunga eParliament.
Thank you very much, Chair. I would like to express appreciation to the members of Parliament.
Ngibonga kumakhosi endabuko.
And I appreciate our traditional leaders.
Ngibonge ama VVIP.
As well as the VVIPs.
I-community yala.
Which is the local community.
Ngifuna nje na maybe ukulahlela into kini nonke.
I just want to make this input to all of you.
We are all community members and caring community.
Ni malungu womphakathi kulomphakathi onakekelayo.
We are from different wards.
Sibuya kuma ward ahlukahlukene.
Different communities.
Nemiphakathi ehlukahlukene.
Different parties.
Kanye namaqembu ezombusazwe ahlukile.
With all NGOs.
Kanye nezinhlangano kungezona zikahulumeni.
Let's take this opportunity.
Masilithatheni leli thuba.
Because us now we know.
Ngoba ke sesiyazi manje.
Let's make other people to know too.
Asenze ukuthi abanye sicwashisa abanye abantu nabo.
Any meeting or gathering that is taking place.
Noma umuphi nje umhlangano oba khona.
Take the opportunity to speak about this climate change.
Thatha ithuba ukhulume ngalesimo sokuguquguquka kwezulu.
So that everybody can know what is happening.
Ukuze wonke umuntu aqwashiswe ngalokho kwenzekayo.
Don't wait for us to come back.
Ningameli thina ukuthi sibuye.
But make sure that Nina, you tell the people on the ground what is happening.
Kodwa qinisekisani nini ukuthi nitshela abantu emphakathini ukuthi kwenzekayo.
Niqhubeke nenze sure ukuthi lama submission esiwafunayo okubhalwa.
Continue to make sure that these written submissions we alluded to.
Asiwenzeni siwathumele before end ka May.
Let us make such and submit them before the end of May.
The committee have listened all what you have said.
Ikomiti lalele konke enikushilo.
The frustration and the happiness and the adoption of the bill.
Izinselelo namaphuzu lawa nijabulisayo kanye nezinselelo ezikhona kulomthetho sivivinywa.
Now izoyithatha yonke into eyikhulumile.
The committee is going to consider all the inputs.
Then they will respond to the issues.
bese siphendule lezo zindaba.
Okwesibili,
Secondly,
after I-committee seyiqeda ukwenza i-report yayo,
after the committee has compiled its report,
izohlanganisa yonke into enikhulumile,
they are going to consolidate all the inputs
nalezi enizibhalile nazinikezela abantu sisebenza nabo.
as well as the written submissions submitted to parliamentary
And
officials.
that report
Loyo mbiko
izothathwa isiwe eParliament.
Will be forwarded to Parliament.
That is National Assembly to debate it.
Parliament likazwelonke ukuze badingide.
Then iParliament izoyithatha iyise ku-NCOP.
And then the Parliament will then take it further to the NCOP.
Bakwazi ukubeka imigomo ke le efunakalayo ukuthi kwenzekele ini.
And they will speak to the policy and also other procedures with regards to that law.
Once we finish to do that,
Uma sesiqedile ukwenza lokho,
we are going to take that bill to the president.
sizothatha loyo mthetho sivivinywa siwumikise kumongameli
Ukuthi ayisayine ibe umthetho.
to be proclaimed as an act of parliament.
After unomongameli ayisayinile,
After the proclamation,
izothathwa ifakwe ku-gazette.
it is then going to be gazetted.
Ize kini nonke niyazi.
And then it will come to the public so that you know about
Then
it.
we start to enforce everything that is there.
Bese siqala ukuphoqelela ukusebenzisa lo mthetho ngawo wonke amaphuzu akhona lapho.
Because niyayisho into ukuthi, yes, we do have things, but we don't enforce them to happen.
Njengoba nisho nani ukuthi ke ikhona imithetho kodwa asisebenzisi ukuphoqelela nokuthi inamathelwe.
Like the bylaws that we have.
Njengemithetho kamasipala esinayo.
But in order this thing to work,
Kodwa ukuze lokhu kusebenze,
we need you to be part of us.
siyanidinga ukuthi nisebenzisane nathi.
Nathi to be part of you.
And we also are going to be part of you.
Then to be able to flow.
Ngaleso sizokwazi ke ukuthi ke kusebenzeke kahle.
I must thank you again
Ngiyanibonga futhi
for sacrificing your time,
ngokuthi ke ninikele ngesikhathi
coming
senu
here,
ukuza la
listen to us,
nisilalele,
listen to everybody who was contributing.
nilalele wonke umuntu ophonse esivivaneni.
That's what we need from you.
Yilokho esikudingayo kinina.
My last point that I want to ask you to do,
Iphuzu lami lokugcina ngizocela ukuthi nisenzele khona
after we're finished now,
ngemuva kokuthi siqede la
we'd like you
sizothanda
to go out.
ukuthi niphume.
There are snacks that are there.
Kukhona okuyethunjini
You
okukhona.
must eat everything that is there.
Nidle yonke into ekhona lapho.
If there are bones that are there, ne,
Namathambo akhona lapho.
please chow those bones.
Ngicela nje ukuthi nidle yonke into nalawo
Then I will
mathambo.
be happy that we're
Ngizokujabula
working together.
ukuthi ayisiyasebenzisana
I thank you
nangempela.
all.
Ngiyanibonga kakhulu.
The meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Sanibonani. Ubaba la uthi ucela ukuthi nihlale phansi. Ngathi bazoza abasebenzi beParliament banikeze la nihlezi khona.